Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast, the coolest podcast on the planet. I'm Santi, that's Sancho. We dressed up for Halloween. Well, kind of. Sancho really did. I kind of just like last minute decided to put something on. Sancho, who and what are you?
You call that dressing up? You just went in your closet.
Hey, at least I got a belt. Where's your belt?
I don't need a belt, baby. I am the megastar. I am special guest referee LA Knight. By far, one of the best special guest referees of all time. I mean, talk about someone that doesn't want to deal with no nonsense, calling it down the middle, putting BFTs on everybody that crossed the line. We're talking about the megastar, baby. LA Knight.
Dude, during a time where the world is divided, they want to hate people over certain views, you chose to be the most hated individual in the WWE today. Everyone hates LA Knight now for what he did at Game 7, ruining one of the most beautifully organic wrestling feuds in the last 5 years. LA Knight is a heel. Everyone hates him now, and that's what you chose to be? Meanwhile, I'm a man of the people. How many Make-A-Wishes have you made? Less than what I'm dressed as. John Cena, baby. The champ is here. Spinning belt, green shirt, green hat. Everyone loves Cena. Right now, everybody hates LA Knight. What did you think about the Twitter backlash that LA Knight was getting for ruining one of the most beautiful, organic wrestling feuds of the last year in Andrade and Carmelo Hayes? Ruined it. Absolutely ruined it.
Saved it. It was going nowhere. It was going to be another bar situation. Where's Cesaro and Sheamus? Where's Cesaro right now? Andrade would have gone back to AEW. There is nothing that's going to happen with that best of 7. Boo. He saved it. We injected the megastar. Now we got the United States. Now they're at Crown Jewel. Without LA Knight, Andrade, Melo would not be on a PLE. We are finally back into the promised land. Finally, the right has been reversed and we are back in it, baby. That's right. You know how many times we haven't been on a PLE? We haven't been on a PLE since SummerSlam. I'm the United States champion. I don't care if LA Knight's a heel. You know what? I think that he is going to be a heel.
I think he should. I really should. I genuinely think that he should. I think he played that role just better than babyface LA Knight. Additionally, I will say, look, I've always said that this is the end result I wanted. I always wanted LA Knight, Carmelo, and Andrade in a triple threat match. I prayed for this, and it happened.
You prayed for this.
Yes. And it did happen. I also won my fantasy football game. I prayed for that too, and so
it happened.
And it happened. So say your prayers, eat your vitamins, kids. All right? Do it.
Yeah.
I wanted this to happen. I'm just saying that how we got here, it's not ideal. You know, you can play the character all you want. You got the glasses, you got the hat, you got the vest, you got the referee shirt on. But I know deep down inside, you know that this was not the way to do it. Andrade versus Carmelo was a feud that should have only had Andrade and Carmelo from beginning to end. And yes, I get it. This naturally and organically gives us the triple threat match, but there were ways to end this match that didn't basically bury Andrade and Carmelo in order to get us the triple threat. There were so many ways to go about it so that we could still get to destination triple threat at Crown Jewel. But I will say, I'm glad that the United States Championship is on a PLE. I'm glad LA Knight is on a PLE. And more than anything, I'm glad that the mid-card champions, really, Andrade and Carmelo Hayes, and Bronson Reed, for that matter, the guys carrying the mid-card over the last several months, finally made it onto a PLE. And if anything, Sancho, this works in your favor in the argument that we should have more matches at PLEs, because it's now getting these guys that have been absolutely cooking over the last several months that have earned PLE spots to finally get onto a PLE. Because we have a total of officially 6 matches.
Oh, brother. You feel it? You feel it? We're in a new age? Ah, man, I've been right about so many things. Right about Karrion Kross, New Day train. Oh, man, we're going down the track. And oh, my goodness, Santi, I'm right about more matches on PLE. Wow, all of a sudden, the mid-card is flourishing again because there's more matches on PLE. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time for you to step on up and get yourself a ticket to the all-new Mega Train. That's right, we got a whole new Mega Train, brother. It is the Sancho train. Come on in, brother. You want in? Santi, here's your chance. Join the Sancho train, brother.
Make the train sound one more time.
Ooh, ooh.
No, it's not a hoo-oo. You know it's a choo-choo.
I just did Sancho. Ooh, ooh.
It's Sancho. Oh, okay. That's kind of clever. That's kind of clever. Listen. Okay, listen. No. Hang on. This train. Hang on.
Mega train.
Before this train even gets allowed on the tracks, I need to point out something that we talked about. The reason why we were expecting to have more matches at PLEs was because Raw was going down to 2 hours. All right. And it's exactly what's happening here. The shows being having less time on TV is resulting on matches having to be paid off on PLEs, but it is resulting in less, I guess major mid-card feuds culminating on Raws and SmackDown, which was cooking over the last several months. It's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword, frankly. I don't think it's as simple as like, look, we have more matches. I won. I think that once it goes to Netflix, it's going to go back down to 5, brother.
But you did not answer the question. You did not answer
your train? Do I want to be on your train?
The Mega Train.
That doesn't exist. Stop trying to make Mega Train a thing.
It is a thing. A Mega Train is a thing. Come on.
Define a Mega Train.
Please, I don't want to ban you from the Mega Train.
I don't know what it is. Define the Mega Train.
It's the thing that I've been trying to tell you, Santi. You know, at the end of the day, I may be unwatchable. I may be unlistenable for the podcast services around the world. We are uploading daily, almost. We're on time, basically. Sancho West, join the train.
I'll pass on the Sancho train. I'll pass on that train. I'll pass on it.
What I want to point out, though, Santi, is the card is a booming. I think the card is very exciting. We took a unwatchable PLE, not gonna lie. Didn't want to really spend my Saturday, November 2nd, when the new Fortnite season was coming out, to hang out with the Crown Jewel.
The new Fortnite season was coming out, and it was really going to conflict with my Crown Jewel viewing. Oh, how was I ever going to play as Fishpool? Oh, man.
Oh, you keep up with my social.
I do. I was like, yo, the Fishpool skin's actually pretty sick.
Hey. So yeah, you know, I think Crown Jewel has become definitely a must see. So many things on the card. I'm betting, though. Let's be realistic. I'm gonna, say you're going to be right in the future, because one of these matches is going to suffer, and they're not going to get a lot of time. They're not going to get enough time. I feel like the LA Knight triple threat with Andrade and Melo is not going to get a lot of time, as much as is warranted, but we'll see. I mean, maybe Seth and Bronson Reed won't get a lot of time. There's something here that's going to just eat it. It's something that's just going to tank out of nowhere. It could be Cody and Gunther. I don't know. There's something bad is a brewing. I think we're going to run into some kind of a unforeseen consequence. Like, we all thought it was all hunky-dory to create an island full of DNA dinosaurs. We thought it was a great idea. Didn't foresee that the female dinosaurs would breed with female dinosaurs, because nature, life finds a way. Yes.
He's referring to Jurassic Park. In case
1996.
Yes.
Ricky Digidoo. Is that
What the hell? You didn't need to do that.
It's Halloween, brother. It's a Halloween episode.
Look, the Crown Jewel card, it has me excited because every match on there, obviously the two Crown Jewel Saudi Championship matches, they need to happen. But I feel like every match has earned the spot to be on there. I also especially want to give a shout out to that women's tag team match that's happening on there, because that's a unique feud in that it's rewarding the super wrestling fan that watches Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, because the story has played out every single episode of all of those different shows. So if you watch all of those shows, you've been rewarded with a match that's going to play out in a PLE. And I think that that's cool. Now incorporating NXT, now that it's part of the CW, it's got the biggest viewership that it's ever had, and incorporating it into a feud that plays out at a PLE, I think that that's pretty cool. I guess I'm wondering two things here. Are we getting are we getting 7 matches here because of a symptom of Raw being down to 2 hours? Or are we getting 7 matches because the Saudi team wants this to be one of the biggest shows of the year, both like in terms of aura, which is why they're really pushing the Crown Jewel Championship, but also literally in terms of matches, because we haven't had a card this big since WrestleMania.
My gut tells me Crown Jewel will be a 2-day event one day.
It
has to. It's gonna be, dude. The WWE puts a lot of resources in even just getting to the Saudi event, so I think they're going to slowly build to a 2-day Crown Jewel event. And why not? If you're gonna have champion versus champion, why not make night 1 the women, night 1 the men, night 2 the women? And that's where we're heading, dude. This roster is stacked, and the WWE wants to get paid. And if the WWE's like, hey, we're going to give you 7, and then the Saudis like, we want more, then it's going to go 2 nights. Everything is going to 2 nights when it comes to the big... This is going to be the big 5, man. Crown Jewel's now a big 5 event. We just got to accept it, brother. That's where we're heading, man.
And WWE is in a really fortunate position that any company would beg to be in, which is they can do whatever the hell they want, and people will go to it. People will flock to it.
$900 WrestleMania 41
tickets?
Hell no.
They're $1,500 now.
15?
Yeah, nosebleeds are $1,500 now, because Ticketmaster does this like dynamic like pricing based on how popular an event
like
is.
Uber? Like
yes,
an Uber thing?
Yeah, literally, exactly like Uber. And if you got there early, you were lucky to get a $900 nosebleed. They are now between $1,300 and $1,500 nosebleeds, which is just ridiculous. It is insane. But you know what? They can, and they will continue to do so because it continues to sell out. As WWE just announced as well that this was like their biggest opening ever in terms of gate for any PLE ever that they've done, because it's a hot ticket, man. People are gonna flock to it. The tickets at our German friends will know the tickets at Bash in Berlin were also insanely expensive at Bash in Berlin. Sold out, still packed house. That's just how it is, man. Like when a company is hot like this, they're gonna be able to pull the trigger on non-consumer friendly decisions, but if people keep buying it, then they're going to keep making those non-consumer friendly decisions. And this is where it's gotten us, where our hobby that we love, our niche little hobby of professional wrestling, might not be as niche anymore as we thought. It might be hitting the mainstream to the point where they can justify these absolutely ridiculous prices for everything that they do. And if they want to do 2 nights for SummerSlam, guess what, buddy? They're going to sell out both of those nights for SummerSlam. If they want to do 2 nights for Crown Jewel, they're going to sell out those 2 nights at Crown Jewel. If they want to go have a PLE at Madagascar, they're probably going to sell out. All right. The zebra from Madagascar will be there. The lion, the giraffe, Moto, the hippo, everyone will show up to whatever WWE show happens in Madagascar. I'm referencing all the characters from the Madagascar movie, Sancho.
I got it.
Moto likes you.
You forgot the hippo.
No, that's Moto. Well, Moto is one of the hippos. I just can't remember the hippo played by Cameron Diaz.
It's not Cameron Diaz.
Is that not Cameron Diaz?
No, it's Jada Pinkett Smith.
Hold on. There is a cartoon character played by Cameron Diaz. Are you sure that Cameron Diaz doesn't play the hippo in Madagascar? We're gonna check this now.
Oh my god.
That Cameron Diaz. Oh, wait, hang on. We might be onto something. Cameron Diaz is in Madagascar 2005. I'm here. I'm in the game. I just don't know what character she plays.
Did you get louder on your microphone?
I don't
just
know.
feel like you're getting louder and louder as you talk about Madagascar.
I might just be getting more and more passionate here.
Look, one thing I want to say, dude, it's kind of a bummer that the WWE has gone this way. If I wanted to take my son and daughter to a WWE event, forget that. That's too expensive. You're hitting like multiple 4 figures going to an event. Not only that, buying merch, buying food. It's insane. And on top of that, WrestleMania 41 in Vegas. Vegas is not a consumer-friendly place. It is mad expensive. I've been to multiple events in Vegas, one for TwitchCon, and it is hard to get around. The Ubers you have to keep paying for just to get to another casino. The attractions in terms of just the food, everything's just expensive. The lodging's expensive. And because of WrestleMania, everything's going to go up in price. When I went to TwitchCon, F1 was right around the corner, and so many things are just going to raise in price. It's a shame because I feel that the WWE needs to understand you're maybe going to a mature product when it comes to going to Netflix, but you still got to attain the spirit of a family experience, because that's the best part, man. I am looking forward to taking my son, who is now 3 years old, taking him to his WWE event, but I don't want to be able to, spend too much money on this bad boy. WrestleMania 40. Do you know how much I spend for being in those sweet box?
How much?
Up there? $400 total for both nights. Granted, it was split amongst like 15 people, but still, like, that's a great ticket and that's a valuable ticket. But at the same time, bro, nosebleed, you're just paying to be there, to be that part of the experience. You're not going to hear the commentary. You're going to see a very small screen that sometimes they turn on and off. You're going to see a match where the screen will be off and you're going to be chanting, "Turn on the screen," or you're going to have a blocked view, or someone's going to have a sign in front of you. There's so many
a shining
variables.
light. The last couple of big stadium PLEs turned the lights off. It happened at SummerSlam and at WrestleMania.
Or you're going to find some influencer walking around with 5 or 6 cameras looking like Doc Ock out there. One pointed to them, you're going to have a reaction. That's what's going to happen. Hey, quick aside real quick. Have you heard of this backlash that's happening on the video game selling world of people hating on content creators for making video games too sweaty in response to Black Ops 6 being released and already people were prestiging, already people getting the best weapons? That's kind of crazy to me. It's like, why blame a content creator for this craziness that's happened in video games? Just because there's now more incentive to probably, do your best to make content, to maybe make a living off of it. It's strange to me, Santi. It's strange to me, baby. We've been in the game for a long time. Now you're going to hate on content creators who are giving you free content?
Hey, look, I get if you want to hate on me for carrying around 17 cameras, but at least I gave you an awesome SummerSlam vlog. All right, so the end result was great. But dude, to that I say just get good. I'm playing Black Ops 6 and I'm enjoying it. Thank goodness for skill-based matchmaking, because I get to play with a bunch of plebs like me. It's great. It's awesome. I'm really digging Black Ops 6. Just get good at the game. All right, you whiny little babies. Content creators are making it way too sweaty. Shut up, losers. Get good.
I'm on a camo grind. I've never done this before on a camo grind, like get the specific kind of headshots.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of frustrating, not gonna lie.
It is.
It's fun, though.
COD 4, there was a thing called Cage Match, where you could go in, and it was a game mode that was 1v1. All right?
Oh.
And it was always like on the smallest possible map.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you could switch your clan tag, which were like 3 letters right in front of your name. All right? So if you wanted to farm for camos, you'd go into Cage Match and you would change your clan tag to H for H, headshot for headshot. So you would just trade headshots in the Cage Match to grind up camos. It was a cool little thing that the community figured out. That was just like, yeah, any one of you could like screw it up and just kill the other person when it's not your turn. But if you wanted your Red Tiger camo in COD 4, you followed the rules. All right, let's bring it back to wrestling here for a second. WrestleMania, all right? So for those that are planning on going, let me give you a quick piece of advice. Allegiant Stadium, slightly bit off the strip. Bit off the strip.
It's at the end, too, at one of the side of the strip. Yeah.
Don't stay in the strip. Get yourself an Airbnb on that side of the end of the strip. It'll be way cheaper, and it'll actually be easier to get to Allegiant Stadium from residential Las Vegas than it would be from the strip, because the strip is a mess. It is not walkable, by the way. It looks like it'd be a walkable thing. It's absolutely not. You can't even cross the street on the strip. You have to find different ways about. I hate Las Vegas with a deep, burning passion. The only benefit of WrestleMania being in Las Vegas, like from an economic standpoint for wrestling fans, is that flights to Vegas are really available and really affordable, because it's such a popular destination that there are so many flights to Las Vegas. But everything else, you're going to be paying like a 1.7 premium than you would be paying in any other city in North America. Oh, yeah. Your hotels are going to be ridiculously expensive. Airbnb is going to be very expensive. Food, transportation, it's going to be a mess. If you're staying in the strip, by the way, those taxis in the strip don't like to leave the strip. They'll turn you down sometimes if you ask for a cab outside of the strip. So don't stay in the strip. Don't. It's a bad idea. It's just going to cost you so much more money, unless you like to gamble.
If you are going to go, wear sunscreen, drink lots of water, don't dehydrate yourself with libations. because you're gonna struggle. It's hot. It's hot. And it's in this. What month is it in? It's in February. April. Ooh, yeah. It's gonna be hot.
It's gonna be spicy. She's gonna be spicy.
You're gonna be hot, and you're like, oh, don't worry, man, Sancho, I could just eat fast food. Ho, fast food, like you said, Santi, premium, and it's not even the quality that you used to. But hey, if you are gonna go, have a great time, enjoy it, be wise, and let us know how it went. But it's just a bummer, dude. Crown Jewel, it's 2 nights. It's gonna happen. I predict it. But this card, at least this year, I'm digging it. This is a great card. This is like one of the top cards of a non-Big Four, so to speak.
Yeah. I'm just trying to dance around here about spoilers for SmackDown. I don't think that we should talk about that.
Well, I mean, they did announce a 6-man tag.
They announced it?
Yeah, look on Twitter. The WWE.
The WWE announced it.
Look it up, dude. Why would I lie to you?
Okay, no. If WWE, I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you. Can we talk about it?
I mean, let me double check. Now you got me. I
didn't think that they did, but if they did, then I'm happy to talk about it because, if we add this potential match that may or may not have been officially added, this adds a lot of intrigue that I'd like to talk about.
They did. They tweeted out 11 hours ago. We acknowledge this match at WWE Crown Jewel. Acknowledge, and it is Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, the Tongans, and Jacob Fatu. So there's no fourth member on Roman's side. Okay. Or we don't know if it's a 3v3.
Or we don't know. Okay. All right. I'm excited for this because if this closes the show, do you expect The Rock?
Oh,
right? Because look, listen, here's my logic, right? There's no world championship match. So you could get away with this main eventing. You absolutely can. Not that it needs to get away with it because like we've seen traditionally like a Bad Blood, this is the match that would main event based on the names that are in it. But the fact that Cody versus Gunther is not a world championship match and they're adding this match to the card, and I don't see Roman opening the show. I only ever see him closing. And if we're making Crown Jewel, as you said, potentially a big 4 PLE, and now that we know The Rock is back in the WWE ethos and ecosystem, does The Rock come back and fire the first shot that leads us towards Survivor Series War Games? Do we get The Rock out there, maybe as a mediator, still not showing what side of the equation that he's on? I'm just saying, this is a perfect place for The Rock to come back again.
I think what's going to happen is Cody is going to open and Gunther is going to open Crown Jewel. That seems to be the play to make. If you're not going to main event, you're going to open, and that's just as big in the WWE eyes. So yes, The Rock has to make a comeback. Has The Rock ever appeared at Crown Jewel?
No, he's never been at any of the Saudi shows.
Right. And at the same time, like the Saudi shows has had the biggest of stars appear before. The non-canon Saudi shows. Oh, that belt too heavy for you on your shoulder.
It's getting annoying.
Oh, poor little Santi. Oh.
Go on.
Yes. So I think the Rock has to make an appearance because, dude, I want like a very bombastic, decked out, the most annoying, obscene, gold out Rock ever. Like it has to feel like, you know, when The Rock showed up in Dallas as the host,
you want him to show up in a camel
and that big flamethrower. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
When he had that flamethrower and he was like, "Oh, you're so obnoxious, Rock, but I love you." That's what I want.
I want The Rock riding in a camel, man. I want The Rock doing the most obnoxious possible thing.
He could come in a helicopter, dude, like Hobbs. That's what I want. It's going to be amazing. I think he's going to add that star power. And I think if you're the Saudi government, of course, you're going to be happy that The Rock, the biggest star in the world, is appearing in your country to be on a show. It's going to be cool, man. I think, like I said, going into the last SmackDown and the Raw go home was okay for the Crown Jewel. Didn't really add much to it, and except everything that's been adding after in the socials. But I feel like after that SmackDown, I was like, yes, dude, we finally got a card that at least there's other things that I feel potentially, like we mentioned, will push the narrative forward for Survivor Series. Is Crown Jewel going to be the road to Survivor Series? If it's going to be that case going forward, I'm kind of down to accept Crown Jewel being like shoved into this entire Survivor Series season.
Sure. And if that is the case, then maybe it is more justified to do these champion versus champion matches that WWE used to do at Survivor Series, right? Okay, we don't want to do these at Survivor Series anymore because we have a new gimmick in War Games, but we still like the idea and the type of draw that a champion versus champion environment can create. So we're just going to do it the month before. Look, there's some people that are like, man, why are you hating on champion versus champion? I'm not. Like, I like champion versus champion matches. I do. Like, we actually just recently watched 2, AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar, both that played out in the late 2010s. Both amazing matches, fantastic matches. What happened after those matches, Sancho?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. That's really the only problem with these champion versus championship matches, is that they just don't have any fallout that matter or that move the needle in terms of WWE storytelling. Maybe WWE can find a way this time around, but I do believe that the pre-Saudi show criticism is warranted. Like, to say, hey, we've been doing months and months and months of PLEs having significant impact on WWE storytelling, and now we're going to go to a formula that historically has not impacted storytelling. I feel like it's warranted for fans to be concerned in that regard, but we're also under a creative tenureship that could flip that on its head. And absolutely could make it matter. I am looking forward to it as well, yeah.
Well, because like every match feels like it has a secondary match to it, you know? Especially the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. That match was good, dude. The way they kind of built that and we predicted, and I'm sure other people predicted too, but I was like, dude, Randy's going to confront Triple H at Gorilla, and he did right off the bat in SmackDown.
You called that. I got to give you the credit. You called that.
Thank you. I don't want to, Megatrain. Want to join?
No, stop.
So as I was saying, as I predicted, I knew that would be the play, and I thought that was going to be it. I was like, cool. They kind of let that happen, and we're going to build off this little moment. And then when he said, I want Triple H to come out here, and Triple H begrudgingly gets up from gorilla position to go into the ring and cut like a classic Triple H promo with Randy Orton. And the best line throughout the entire thing, like, dude, I didn't call out the guy in the suit, the CEO. I didn't call Paul Levesque. I called out the cerebral assassin, the game. I'm like, yes, dude. That's what's so cool. And I'm like, my takeaway from that is I want more of this Triple H character to be around more, because it just adds more stakes to anything that is in. And not so much like a Vince McMahon type of character that interjects himself into storylines like the Authority days. I just want him to be around as an influence, like a Adam Pearce, like a Nick Aldis, that he is the bigger bad, so to speak. He's the big guy upstairs, that if something has a problem and it escalates to upper management, to Triple H levels, then it's serious. And when Randy Orton's doing it, that's a big deal. And then when Triple H is like, I'm trying to protect you, Randy, some good stakes, dude, because you know what that tells me, Santi? That Kevin Owens is going to go off the deep end at Crown Jewel. Off the deep end.
Yeah, Triple H sold me, man. Triple H absolutely sold me on whatever version of Kevin Owens this is. He made it feel like this is a cornered fox Kevin Owens, the guy that's going to do anything and everything to come out on top at the other end. And that alone just had me so excited to see what that Kevin Owens looks like. And for Triple H to be afraid for Randy, to me, really adds even more, because like, whoever would ever be afraid for Randy Orton? It's Randy freaking Orton. The only complaint I have about this is, with how concerned Triple H was, this was a perfect opportunity to do this match won't be sanctioned by WWE, Randy.
Oh,
an unsanctioned match at Crown Jewel would have been pretty neat, because they really would have added to the danger of Randy's health, because they talked about like his spinal fusion surgery and how dangerous Kevin Owens is, that WWE and Triple H don't want to make this match happen because of the dangers that it could bring. That would have been again, nitpicking. This should have been, or could have been, a place where they give us an unsanctioned match, something that doesn't really get used very often in WWE, but when it does, it adds to the story. What's an unsanctioned match? It's just anything goes, but like the story element is that the guys or girls that are put in the ring are going to be in such danger that WWE doesn't want to be held liable for what happens. So it's just an extra like story element to it. And I feel like it was perfect for this, don't you think?
Absolutely. And at the same time, no referee maybe could be an option. But we know Randy Orton could sell, and he could convince us that he's really hurt. It happened in Elimination Chamber. The whole time in Perth, we're like, oh my God, every move he did. It was like, oh, Randy, you're back, brother. Don't do that move. Why
Everyone got worked. Move? Everyone got worked by Randy.
Oh, do you remember that in Chamber when AJ Styles flew all the way to Perth to screw?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, and LA Knight had the BFT. He was ready to go. But no, dude, I think it's a great build, and I think the scary monster, Kevin Owens, got built up perfectly. What's scarier always in cinema is the monster off screen, and the more Kevin Owens gets built up as a monster, and hopefully he executes when he shows up, it's going to be good. It's going to be good for business because then you could go in places. You can put Randy on the shelf for a bit, get him ready, and for his comeback, you give him a break. You can even have Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens again, and I think I would be down to see that match again because the first one was good, but the first one didn't have any stakes to it. It was just, hey man, I want to give you a match because you're my friend. It was very Bailey Naomi type vibe. But now Kevin Owens, being the ruthless heel, could now put out a good match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, and I feel like that's going to be a good kind of like a next point to move for Cody Rhodes because we know Cody Rhodes has a path, and Gunther doesn't really have a path. So I'm glad that we got Cody Rhodes going to Kevin Owens. Maybe Gunther goes, well, I guess it's going to be Dominic, right? Dominic's a path for
Dirty Dom. Real quick, Sancho, because I do want to talk about Dominic Mysterio. I just want to know, did you see the meme of when Triple H he was like staring at the screen and then he like angrily took off his headset? Yeah. What somebody photoshopped him playing Minecraft, and then and then a creeper destroys his house, and then Triple H is like staring blankly at the screen and takes off his headset.
I didn't see that meme. That sounds good. Oh man.
I'll send it to you on Discord when I find it, dude. I was cackling laughing because it's got that like chill Minecraft music. Meanwhile, like there's a game over screen and Triple H is all pissed and takes off his headset and gets up and walks away. Good stuff.
That's a good one. I like, my favorite meme is the brain rot meme that you had with that one guy of you sitting at your desk. It's like, Santi, how you doing, Santi? It's
Solo.
Hey, I shout out to you, Santi. You did the most courageous thing a man could ever do. You jumped in front of Undertaker's dong, and now it is your thing, not mine.
It's your thing.
Nope. Shout outs to Out of Context Santi. It is your thing now, brother.
You know what also is my thing? Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Beat Damian Priest clean without any help at all whatsoever from anyone. You know who wasn't able to do that? Gunther. And now who gets a chance at Gunther? Dominic Mysterio. And if I'm just using logical math here, if Dominic Mysterio was able to beat Damian Priest clean and Gunther wasn't, I'm just saying, I think it's going to lead to Dominic Mysterio being your next world heavyweight champion, my friend. Goldberg might interfere. Goldberg might interject and give us a world champion, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And I know that sounds far-fetched, but who would be a more insulting WWE superstar for Gunther to lose the world title to? A guy that's like all about the mat, the sanctity of our sport. To lose to Dirty Dominic Mysterio would be, Sancho, listen to me when I say this, the funniest thing WWE could do. They have a chance to do the funniest thing imaginable right now and have Gunther lose the world championship because of Goldberg to Dirty Dominic Mysterio. A guy that no one in the Judgment Day believes in. Imagine if now he's walking around with world championship gold as Finn Balor still can't win anything, as Finn Balor's still upset about the 7 years of agony, and meanwhile Dirty Dom with his beautiful stash, beautiful lady in Rakizel is walking around with the championship gold. Baby, sign me up. That's enough for my Netflix subscription right there, all right? Dirty Dominic Mysterio is world champion. That's the agenda, folks. That's what we're going to do next.
My man's flexing muscles and flexing brain power. Ooh.
You don't hate it, though, right? You don't hate it.
No, I love it. Yeah. Because when I was watching Damian Priest versus Dominic for this match on Monday Night Raw, I sat there and I was like, bro, what's the most interesting outcome here? Would it be that Damian is the number one contender? I was like, nah. It's Dominic Mysterio being the number one contender. There's so many outs. There's so many creative routes you can do. And man, dude, it's been a while since we had a champion that didn't deserve to be champion. I mean, we kind of had it with a little taste of that forbidden fruit with the North American Championship in the NXT and Dominic Mysterio, right? We kind of saw that vibe where he would seemingly win on not necessarily not clean all most of the time, but it reminds me of Bo Dallas being an NXT champion where he would just win when he wasn't supposed to win. We need more of the unpredictable in the WWE. And I feel like a heel champion like Dominic, even Chelsea Green, I thought they would pull the trigger on her for women's champion. It needs to happen, man. I just need shenanigans in my WWE. The 666-day reign, the 1,000-day reign of Roman Reigns as well. Not enough shenanigans, man. We're putting too much precious commodity in these championship prestiges, brother. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and hit that max COD level, reset that prestige to number one with Dominic Mysterio. Dude, we're gonna prestige it.
You know what it is? You know what is missing? You know, you mentioned the undeserving champion. If I could kind of peel that layer a little bit deeper, we haven't had a champion that we desperately want to see lose in a long time. It's always been these guys
based on character. We did want to see Seth Rollins lose.
Some of us did. All right. I don't think that was the majority of people saying that. Like it was the me's and you's of the world. The me's and you's of the world wanted Sami Zayn to lose the Intercontinental Championship. Yes. But like the wider audience, like the people in the arena, they didn't want to see these people lose necessarily. It's cool that Jay beat Braun, but there was nobody like, we need Braun to lose the championship, right? Like that wasn't the thing. But if Dominic Mysterio were to win any championship, all of a sudden the crowd changes to actually rooting for anyone and anything that is going up against Dominic Mysterio for that world championship.
I think that the last Charlie champion was Logan Paul. They wanted Logan Paul to lose to LA Knight. Like that was like anyone but Logan carrying that belt. Eventually they wanted it, and LA Knight was the perfect guy to take the mantle. I think no one wanted Ray to lose the title, the United States title, but we were like excited for Ray to lose the title to Logan Paul. But I get what you're saying, and I think like I'm trying to think of the last heel champion that was like undeserving and everybody wanted them to lose. I think it was Dominic Mysterio with the North American Championship.
Yeah, and it was great.
It was great. I loved it, and the fact that he would carry it around undeservingly. I mean, it kind of reminded me when Tonga Loa had the I'm sorry to besmirch, when Tonga Loa had the tag team championship. We're like, you didn't deserve it. Jacob Fatu got it, but then of course he won in the ladder match. But it's going to be an exciting time. I think Dominic Mysterio, business-wise, deserves the belt. I think he gives such unique podcast interviews like the Chris Van Vliet one that he had recently. Like he's still kayfabe-ish. He still is in the character, but he's so cleverly funny. And this man is like perfect for podcasts, like because you don't know if he's serious or not serious. Like when he went on Impulsive, and when he told Logan he was shadow banned from Japan. There's so many things that we have just scratching the surface of Dominic Mysterio because right now we don't let him talk and we boo him out the building. But imagine when he does start talking and we still hate him even more for it. And he's dripped in gold.
And if he were to beat Gunther, bro, Gunther.
Well, it's because he has the shirt, dude. The shirt's the biggest canary in that coal mine. Latino cheat. He's going to cheat his way to the top. And when you have enforcers like Rakizel and Liv Morgan on your side, you're going to be the most hated man. And dude, imagine having that over Rhea Ripley. Him being champ, like, look, I left you. I'm now with Liv. I'm with Judgment Day. I'm still with my family Judgment Day. And look at me. I am a champion. And look at you, Ray. I'm a champion and you're not.
We're speaking gold here. And listen, man, we're not always right, but sometimes we create an ecosystem for things to take fruition, for things to happen in the real world. And the more that we talk about it, the more I fantasize about it, Sancho, the more I look at that forbidden fruit and want a little taste of it, the more I want to see dirty Dominic Mysterio, my little forbidden fruit, as your world heavyweight champion.
I dare you, tweet at him. Dominic Mysterio, you are my forbidden fruit.
You don't think I will?
You'll never do it. You won't do it.
I'll do it right now, mid-show.
Do it right now.
I'm doing it right now. All right. Keep the people entertained. I'm doing it literally right now.
I love it. But regardless, it's going to be a fun time. We already covered a lot of things when it comes to the card. I wish we would have Dominic Mysterio and Judgment Day at Crown Jewel. That would have been an interesting thing. Maybe we'll get him in the backstage segment. But like I said, Crown Jewel is going to be heading towards a 2-night event. They're going to put so many resources on that. We already covered so many things. We covered the whole entire card. I mean, we didn't really cover Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax. I think the WWE is doing a great job setting that up, and I'm already excited to see that. I'm glad that they're not. Maybe they're going to add more to that. The SmackDown pre-tape really messes up a lot of things going forward, and I'm surprised that they did announce Bloodline versus Bloodline. One thing we got to talk about, it happened on Monday Night Raw. Sami Zayn being a sneaky sneak, talking to Solo Sakoa. Dude, someone said the funniest thing is like they shot that scene like the Office. You know, because you had Jimmy.
They totally did.
You had Jimmy and Jey Uso in the foreground, and then way in the background with the camera zoom in and everything, it was Sammy talking to Solo. What do you think Sammy and Solo were talking about? I think definitely Sammy was like, hey, trying to be the peacekeeper, trying to keep the peace. And I think that's the role that Sammy's going to go for and fall back for when they confront him about it. But man, regardless, I cannot wait for the segment where Solo Sikoa is out there with Sammy like, come on, Sammy, do the honorary Uso. You're still part of the family. Come on back, dude. I want you. And it's going to be so good because the things that he said that Jey Uso told to Sammy broke my heart, bro. I knew it was coming too. He's like, don't say you're not part of the family. Don't say you're not. And then he said it. I was like, oh no. And just like Ralph Wiggum, Sammy's heart broke into two, brother. Did you tweet it out?
I did tweet it out. You think I'm afraid? You think I won't? Because I will every single time.
Dude, your phone blowing up from
yeah. What are they talking about? Solo and Sammy. I feel like there's two sides. It could either be Sammy, like you said, playing the piece, or it could be Solo trying to gaslight Sami Zayn into making Sammy see that, hey, Roman's the bad guy here. Roman was always the bad guy. Right. Like I'm just trying to take out the evil that you were all trying to take out at one point. How can I be the bad guy in this situation? You need to make Jimmy and Jay see that Roman is the big evil here. Not referencing, 2000's Undertaker big evil. He is the big evil of this situation. So it could be that. Either way, I'm excited that Sami Zayn has now been inserted, in the vicinity, in the gravitational pull of the Bloodline story arc, because he will eventually come crashing into it. Whether it's at War Games, maybe even at Saudi Arabia. You mentioned that we don't know what 3 of the Bloodline have been picked to be part of the tag team match. Maybe all 4 are out there, and Sami Zayn becomes, the honorary Us to even out the odds. That would be a
big pop for Sammy to run out during Crown Jewel.
Absolutely, it's like the perfect venue for Sami Zayn to make either be a surprise, part of the match, or maybe he just runs and makes a save, for example.
Right,
huge pop. In fact, such a big pop for that audience that could be what ends the show. Sammy making the save and reuniting with the Bloodline, and maybe it's not The Rock. Maybe this is part of the story arc, and that's what ends the show. But it was inevitable. This had to happen. I'm glad that it's already starting, and I'm glad that it's not hunky-dory, hey, let's get the band back together, that there are parts of the original band that, they don't want to be part of this anymore. I will say, there is part of me that does slightly believe that maybe Jay is giving it a little bit too easy. I think that Roman 100%. Should be groveling. I feel like he should get Roman's, I'm sorry for what I did. I get it, it's at the end of the day, Jimmy is still your brother, so that's a bit more believable. Those family ties can make it really believable to land that forgiveness much quicker. But I can hold a grudge against the cousin. I can hold a grudge much longer against the cousin than I can against a direct sibling. So I do hope that it's not just as simple as like, we're back together. I really hope that there's friction here. But I will also say, Sancho, I loved Jay's promo on Raw saying that if we do this, we're not just like the ones. We're not the Usos. Like, I'm Jay. You're Jimmy. People can tell us apart now. I'm Yeet. You're no Yeet. If we do this, we're not lackeys. We're not slaves. We're not going to do the dirty work. We're not going to get abused by Roman Reigns. We do it the right way, basically as individuals. And the reason why this has me excited, Sancho, is because it's cool that the Bloodline is going to reunite, but I don't want it to just be the same thing as it was back in the early 2020s. I want to see what this iteration of the Bloodline looks like now that every member of the original Bloodline has a unique identifiable characteristic about them. What does that group of individuals look like when they are individuals, as opposed to to just being like a morphed group of people that represent one group in the Bloodline? They're all individuals in this.
I know, but I think like the aura is so different, and I'm not as excited for it, because the best Bloodline aura is Roman talking, is the wise man setting him up, and then Roman asking for the mic, and then there's their backing him up, and then him calling the plays, and then them riffing off each other in backstage segments with them being afraid of Roman. There's nothing gonna top the moment. Like, I don't give a damn about the tribal chief.
Oh.
Like that moment was just so strong. And then Sami Zayn being afraid of Roman and be like, come on, he's just not feeling oozy. Like
they can't recreate that magic. They can't.
You can't capture that magic, because you said it yourself. Roman's role is different now. He's gonna have to share the spotlight, and we already saw a taste of it last year when he was sharing the spotlight with The Rock. And that's, to me, is going to be the most interesting thing, is what happens when you get a talking Solo Sakoa, a very, I get Jimmy's personality is very, he's out there, he's wackier. And then you have the main event, Jey Uso, who's trying to be on the same footing as a Roman Reigns as a main eventer. I don't know if it gels so quickly. And then at the same time, we got Sammy's high horse Zayn, brother. Oh my God, Sammy.
This championship right here, Sancho, this championship, do you want this championship? Do you want to earn this championship like I did? Like I earned this championship, Sancho? Well, you can. You can, Sancho. You just have to break out of that mindset that you have, that you're not capable of doing it. Because if you put your mind to it, you can achieve what I've achieved, Sancho. You can become the next internet champion, Sancho.
And then all this stuff about him leaving other people, like, I don't like it, dude. I think they burned that bridge so quickly, that candle so quickly, with him trying to help Alpha Academy, trying to help who else he was trying to help for like a second, Kaiser, trying to help him for a second. It's like, come on, dude. Now you're doing it again. This right here, I wish they saved all the high horsing for this feud right here, because it makes the most sense right here. And I like the idea of Sammy spitting some truth, dude. You don't have to pick the lesser of evils, brother. You could stand on your own. You are Jey Uso. You walked away. They don't need your help. This is their problem. And then, man, when Jey hit him with that line again, he was like, you don't understand. You're not part of the family. I was like, I'm telling you, that's Solo's play. He's going to try to get Sammy on his side. Like, that's Solo Sikoa's play.
Dude, if Sammy appears alongside Solo Sikoa at Crown Jewel or at any other show, that would be a Cobra Kai-like heel turn.
Right?
You're like, you're right. It's a Cobra Kai heel turn, bro, where he just appeared. Now you're Miyagi-Do? Pardon me. You were always Cobra Kai.
Exactly, dude. He's the dude with the mohawk.
Yeah, bro. Okay, for those that have not watched Cobra Kai, that show might have more heel and face turns than a WWE show.
over absolutely nothing. Granted, Miguel almost died.
Oh no, we lost Sancho. Hang on, everybody. We're gonna figure this out. And we're back, folks. Quick little hiccup there. We were talking about Cobra Kai. You said that Miguel almost died.
And then the internet crashed. Yeah, Miguel almost died, bro. And then he still joined the faction that almost killed him. So, hey, anything could happen in the world of Cobra Kai. Highly recommend the show. And if you're like, dude, I haven't seen the Karate Kids, you can still watch them. You can still watch them. You will miss out on the like, oh my God, this character's in it moments. It was actually interesting because I showed my wife. I was like, hey, let's watch Karate. She's seen Karate Kid, and then I was like, Cobra Kai's gone, and then after Cobra Kai's like first season, she's watched Karate Kid 2, Karate Kid 3, and now we're like, you know.
Did she not watch Karate Kid 1?
No, so I showed her that a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you gotta watch this. This is like, if you want to know what made me as a kid, this right here, the Karate Kid, and she got emotional. I was like, all right.
Mm-hmm. Dude, the Karate Kid's one of my favorite movies, and I think it is the precursor of me becoming a wrestling fan. I'm telling you, wrestling fans will love the cheesiness and campiness of Cobra Kai. It is a ridiculous show. The plot twist reveals are hilarious. The heel turns and babyface turns are real. It's a good time. It is a good time. So instead of just talking about the Bloodline here, there was some more backlash that happened during all of the Bloodline stuff that happened. All right. We had the Motor City Machine Guns as all of this Bloodline stuff is happening, win the World Tag Team Championships on Friday Night SmackDown. I need to get your thoughts here. All right. Was it too soon? Did you enjoy how it played out? Tell me.
Santi, if you and I were like starting off on a video game adventure and we were trying to be the best in the world and we wanted to, we played a game that had nothing, right? Let's say we wanted to make content on the game that was just dead in the water. And we came in, the big powerhouses, the best of the best in content creation when it comes to the game. We were cooking, we were making shorts, and we were making long form videos, and we showed the world that we were the best. And all of a sudden, that game became popular. That's what the Motor City Machine Guns are doing. The tag team division was dead, brother. Dead. Absolutely dead. They had them shackled to the Bloodline. There was just trophies, decorations.
No.
They were like Halloween. Yes, they were.
No,
yes,
I disagree.
Halloween decorations on the Bloodline forever trapped. They were in the cave of wonders, brother. We would have needed a diamond in the rough to go in there to get a genie from the lamp to rub that lamp to give me 3 wishes so one day I could get those belts free, brother. That's what we had to do to get them out of the Bloodline. In the Motor City Machine Guns got them out, and now we have a tag division again, folks. We are back and we are cooking all cylinders. And you could say, you just do a long drawn out story just to get the Motor City Machine Guns to earn the belts in the Bloodline. I don't have time for that. We need to go on a Survivor Series. We need to go War Games. We need to put them in there. It was title for title, eye for an eye. Jey Uso lost the belt. Jey Uso causes the Tongans to lose their belt. Take that with you. Motor City Machine Gun, baby.
Listen, for the gamers out there, all right, let me put this into perspective for you. This was not, hey, they just came in. This was too quick. This was a Counter-Strike world champion changing to Valorant and winning again. It's not too crazy to think about because, like, all of the time that they put in one place will absolutely translate to another place. This is 20 plus years in the making. This is not a overnight success for the Motor City Machine Guns. And they made it clear, right? They made it clear when Nick Aldis didn't want to give them the match. Like, I don't want you to waste this opportunity that you've worked 20 years in order to get, because the Bloodline is basically gaslighting you into it. And then there are people that are saying, well, like, oh, well, like, they didn't win in a clean way. It was already an unclean match. This was their back-to-back second match. They were already tired. Jey Uso getting involved and all the shenanigans with the Bloodline was just evening out the playing field. It all works, in my opinion. What I do disagree with you on, Sancho, is you saying that the Bloodline weren't good tag team champions. I think that they were good tag team champions. They defended those belts, and on top of defending the belts, I don't think that they were just props to make their main event shine even shinier. They, unlike the Judgment Day, they actually took those tag belts and had tag team feuds and tag team matches and tag team storylines, all the while carrying those tag team belts in the main event scene, so that when this moment inevitably happened, it catapulted whatever tag team defeated them and made them feel like a main event tag team, like the Motor City Machine Guns did. Because the Motor City Machine Guns, this sounds like crappy Reddit fantasy booking. They defeated the Bloodline while sharing screen time with Roman, Jimmy, and Jey Uso in the entirety of the Bloodline. That doesn't sound real if I pitched it to you five months ago. And this works because the Bloodline, the Tongans, were able to drag whatever lifeless corpse was there of the tag team division into the main event scene and give them that rub, which is what I think was the original plan for the Judgment Day and just didn't work. For the Judgment Day, brother, those are props. Those are just drink coasters. They're not doing anything with those titles. The Bloodline at least had like 4 championship defenses? And they were all bangers, by the way. Let's not forget about that. Let's not forget about a match. Let's not forget about the match of the year contender that they had in the 3-way ladder match. Like they were actual tag team champions, and they even developed the tag team storylines on NXT.
You're just a Tonga Loan stand, brother.
Maybe that is the case. All right, give my boy the eye patch back. But the Judgment Day, that was the true travesty of a main event faction holding the tag gold. They did not need those, but I feel like the Bloodline did what they needed to do with those belts, and now the championship victory of the Motor City Machine Guns feels that much more special because of the main event aura that they have alongside this championship victory, my friend.
Well, I was gonna say though, Motor City Machine Guns. I think you said, "What's the biggest outcome out of all this?" And you're still glazing Motor City Machine Guns, which is fine. It's Solo Sakoa, bro. When Solo Sakoa came out there and cut that promo, and the guy's like, "Any place, anytime." He's like, "Any place, anytime."
He did our voice. When we mock each other.
Oh, dude, it's Solo Sakoa. I said this in the review for SmackDown review on Patreon, exclusive to Patreon. I said that Solo Sakoa is finding out who he is as a performer and who he is in this game of thrones, so to speak, when it comes to everything. And he is flourishing. And he has, dude, that is year 1999 Rock right there, dude. Smack dab, mocking his opponents, mocking everybody. And it's going to lead to one day people are going to go back to this time and period and say, this is where it started. These a month or two ago, Solo Sakoa has now upped the ante in his stakes, and he's become a much more valuable player in the Bloodline. Mind you, at the very beginning, people were talking about, what is this? We don't need the Bloodline. The Bloodline is they're like telling like Solo Sakoa is ruining the Bloodline because he's the tribal chief and he's a waste of time. Why are we wasting our time with Solo Sakoa? This is why you plant the seeds, you water Solo Sakoa, and now he's a beautiful succulent plant growing before us, and I absolutely love it. Motor City Machine Guns, sure, that's gonna be great. They're gonna have great matches with DIY. They're gonna have all the great matches with Street Profits. They're gonna have great matches with A-Town Down Under. It's gonna be fantastic. Sure. But it is Solo Sakoa's coming out party, brother. He is banging right now.
And I feel like he needs to, right? Because now we're doing obviously like this reunion of every possible member of the Bloodline, and there's so many big characters, so many big personalities that Solo's brooding, I'm the big, very bad, scary man, and I let my henchmen do the talking, I don't think is going to work. I feel like this was the right move to make him a more personable, and this is not a CM Punk reference. I've been saying this in my last few hot takes videos. He's turning into a cult of personality. Like you need this type of personality, this infectious personality to make me believe that you are actually the one pulling the strings and leading these group of absolute badasses into war. Mm-hmm. Because the brooding, I'm scary aspect doesn't work when when Jacob is more brooding and scarier than you. So you need to be this personality that stands out, that is a believable dictator.
Can I throw a flag as a special guest referee? The Megastar LA Knight.
You're gonna ruin Game 7?
No, yeah, I'm gonna ruin your point. I'm gonna go back in time a little bit because you were like, "Oh, they added the prestige. They had the best thing." Brother, they literally only had 2 matches, brother, as championship holders, or the third kind of Motor Machine. What are you talking about?
So they had 3 championship defenses.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Compare it to the other side of the equation, and it wasn't even side. But it wasn't even just that. Okay, 3. I said 4. They had 3. Ooh, I was so off.
No,
you really got me with this point, Sancho. Shut up for a second. Shut up for a second. All right, it's not just the number of championship defenses. It's the fact that they were developing tag team storylines every week. All right, the Judgment Day wasn't doing that. They were balancing main event and tag team story arcs.
I blame Rizlito. He's supposed to be the fixer.
He didn't fix shit. Wait, no, he gave us Dom as number 1 contender.
You're right.
Yeah, Carlito saved the day.
But I love it. I'm just saying, like, the tag team division is in a weird spot, and for them to give them the Motor City Machine Guns would have elevated any title, either on Raw or here. But I agree with you that the Bloodline, having those belts and beating the Bloodline, and the biggest storyline in WWE history, to have Motor City Machine Guns come in and make an impact.
Nice. Oh, I thought my internet went out for a second. I was like, oh no.
Thank you. To make an impact, I think it's cool, and I like the wrestling style. I asked this to the community and on Patreon, which is in the comments of the review. I said, "Is Motor City Machine Guns like aged out, from the younger generation? Like, is it cool? Do y'all like them? Like, do y'all vibe with their style? Because they're, they're older, they're up there. But I was like, well, what's y'all take on it? And they're like, yeah, we actually vibe with it. I actually like how clean they are and how crispy they are, and their moveset's really cool. And you could feel this veteranship that they have, the professionalism. I absolutely like them, dude. I thought they would be too old headish type of vibe, right? You ever see those, when people recommend a movie and they're like, bro, or a game, like, bro, you gotta play the OG Grand Theft Auto 3. You gotta play Grand Theft Auto 2, right? But you're like, there's games that do it better nowadays. So why would I go back? And we always had this notion, we talked about it last week on the pod, that Motor City Machine Guns is the prototype for all these big modern day tag team wrestlers, that the superstars that they have. And we're like, and my fear was like, man, maybe Motor City Machine Guns is the template is too old school in that world, right? There's other teams that do what they do better. But that, like we mentioned, not a triple threat, a traditional tag team, prove that they still got it. Mm-hmm. And they are going to be a great and welcome addition to the SmackDown roster. And man, they can even do singles matches. I would love to see a singles match. But granted,
they were both world champions in TNA.
Yeah, there you go, dude. I'm excited to see what they can do. And I'm glad that they gave him mic time. I don't think Solo Sakoa buried him, because it's Solo Sakoa doing it. It's not like The Rock came out there and did that.
And they lost.
Right. If The Rock came out there and did that, please, anytime, you would be like, oh my God.
Game over. It's done.
It's done. And that is the thing about heels and faces and statuses. If you're an up and coming heel that does mock somebody, you see that as a heel versus like I said, The Rock would have been seen as burying Motor City Machine Guns, but Solo can't bury anyone right now.
Not yet. He's not
Maybe
down the line. Yeah.
Down the line. Yeah.
It would have been cool if we had this Solo versus Cena, a Solo that actually had a bit of a personality.
Right. Versus I'm just going to thumb you to death.
Yeah. Cause that didn't land. But if this condescending Solo Sakoa was the one that put away Cena, I feel like that would have worked in terms of elevating Solo. But just I'm big and scary and quiet, and I'm gonna thumb the crap out of you. Gross. It didn't land.
Well, yeah, and John Cena was like, I even have half a voice, and I'm still gonna bury you. And you're just like, jeez,
and
John,
he did,
why?
and he did,
and he did. And that's the one thing I understand what John Cena does. He makes you want to step up to his level. And if you're not ready for it, he's just going to run you over, man. And I think this Solo, you're right, would have been able to stand up to this John Cena. Let us go down the John Cena Twitter account. Change is a necessary element in all progress.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Mm-hmm. You say progress or progress?
Progress.
Say it again.
What did I say? Progress. I say it both ways. It depends on the sentence.
Say, I'm making a lot of progress.
I'm making a lot of progress.
You say progress.
No, it depends on the sentence. Here, change is necessary element in all progress. All progress.
Why does it change? Why can't it just be progress?
And the two vowels in all, and it can't all progress. It hurts my mouth.
It's the proper pronunciation. Progress is the proper pronunciation.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Is it in what place?
In England?
Doesn't matter where it's proper. You Fruity Pebble wearing, John Cena wearing, this is my Halloween costume. This is where I put it on. I went out. No, you wear that every day. You probably go to bed in it. You probably look at your lovely lady. And you're like, oh, is it time for bed? Let me put on my John Cena shirt. You go to sleep in that? Go to sleep in that, big guy?
I don't need this I've slept in Cena gear, yes.
Oh, brother.
Anyways.
This is not Netflix Wrestling is Cool. Someone reached out to us and said they did the deed in Santi's face shirt.
Oh yeah.
Yikers.
Don't ever share that information. Okay.
It's out now.
So the tag team division has on both Raw and SmackDown has some interesting wrinkles. All right. So over on SmackDown, we have a new champion in the Motor City Machine Guns. We have the Street Profits being justifiably mad with how their match went. Maybe they go heel. We have DIY, maybe the first accidental bullet fired in their separation, because Triple H is going to revisit his greatest hit. His greatest hit as a booker is the separation of DIY, it is Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. That is the greatest thing that he has ever booked, and he did it down in NXT. WWE likes to revisit their greatest hits. There's no way that they don't revisit this at some point or another. It's going to happen, and I think it's going to be like a slow burn. I don't think it's going to be something that all of a sudden they're feuding by next week. But I think that we saw the 1% increment in the Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa feud.
Okay, so let's get the lay of the land of SmackDown. All right, I like what you're doing here. That's the good side of the tag team division. You got Andrade, you got Melo. If LA Knight does go heel in terms of just the way he presented, who is going to be that mid-card face, though? Because Carmelo's already heel. I don't think Melo could turn face. It can't be a double turn here. I mean, LA Knight literally called them losers, and that's a very heel thing to do. I mean, he could have called them bums. For some reason, bums doesn't hit as hard as losers. Losers is a very strong word in the WWE world for some reason. So what's the lay of the land? I mean, AJ Styles is gone for a year. Is this where John Cena lands? Is this where John Cena makes his home on the SmackDown roster?
I think so.
Because he's always been a Raw guy.
Yeah, he's always been a Raw guy, but maybe he's a SmackDown guy until Raw goes to Netflix, right? Maybe he does come back before then. He has a feud leading into Saturday night's main event, for example, because I do absolutely foresee Cena being there, because that's going to be on like network. That's like on prime time, like TV on NBC. Like it's going to be in front of a lot of eyeballs. They're going to bring their heavy hitters for Saturday night's main event, and I think Cena is going to be one of those. I think Cena versus LA Knight, like that's money. That is actually money. We got them as friends, and I didn't care for that.
You know what? They could kind of build off of that. Remember when LA Knight was like didn't
want his arm raised.
Didn't want his arm raised, and John Cena looked at him like,
you know who I am?
He's like, I'm going to kill you, bro. You could feel it. So I think that'd be a good feud for both of them, right?
Yeah.
I think that's something that I think LA Knight would probably be ready for.
Oh man, I'd be afraid Cena would butcher him. I would be afraid Cena would butcher
But I think by then, I think LA Knight would be ready for him, right?
The only reason I say this is because like they can both be catchphrase machines.
Sure.
But Cena has shown way more versatility in terms of like getting deep and personal. I haven't seen that from LA Knight in any of his feuds. It is very surface level mockery of his opponents, and that with Cena will not work.
I think the only way that LA Knight could get over in that type of environment is that he just admits that he's been on this road for a long time, and he's done everything in this business, and he's been there forever. He's done acting, he's done extra work. He will take anything because that's how much he wants it type vibe. You know, he can even say like, hey, yeah, you got to that point, John, you got fed all these things and you worked hard, ruthless aggression. But then when you got there, John, they gave you the world. They gave you the keys to the kingdom. Me, they're not giving me any opportunity here in the WWE. I was not in the main event, I was not picked by Cody Rhodes at Survivor Series. I was thrown into a match with Roman Reigns and not given my rematch. So many things he could build off of. Like, ever since I became the megastar here in the WWE, they don't want me here. They don't want me as champion.
No, they don't want none.
They don't want none. Meanwhile, you, John, they gave you everything. They gave you the keys. They gave you the ball, even though you probably fumbled a couple of times when you're like, thugonomic gimmick. They didn't give me anything. I haven't had the ball yet, John, and I'm ready to take the ball from you.
Sure.
That could be
I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
I'm down for that.
I am down for that.
Let me write for you, LA Knight.
Now, the landscape of Monday Night Raw, like the tag team division, looked promising in that triple threat. I like that in the triple threat between LWO War Raiders and the New Day. I like that War Raiders won because the two losers, they have their own individual storylines going on. I cannot wait for Chad Gable versus Rey Mysterio. I can't wait for the inevitable big fight between LWO and American Made, because you know that match is going to be a banger. And obviously I'm not allowed on the New Day train, so perhaps you could talk about that.
No, it's not the new. Stop it.
It's the New Day train. You called it. It's the New Day train.
This is caused by Karrion Kross, and I don't know if you saw.
It's the New Day. You called it the New Day train. You can't all of a sudden change the name of the train.
I could do it. I'm the conductor. After Monday Night Raw, Did you see that the Miz got kidnapped?
No, I missed that. So I see that in the show notes. You can need to explain that to me.
Well, yeah, that's what I want to say. Like the 2-hour Raw suck. All right, I'm sorry. I'm going to say that they're getting better at it, but there's so much good juice on the timelines, and I hate that I have to watch the timelines to be able to enjoy it. Because if this segment would have ended up on Monday Night Raw, we'd be talking about it all day. Basically, you had Miz freaking out because he was looking for Bo Dallas because that's what Karrion Kross wanted him to do, which happened in the second hour of Raw, literally right before the main event. He runs into Kofi and Xavier, and he goes to Kofi and Xavier, and Kofi and Xavier are arguing about that call. And Xavier's like, dude, I had to take out Ray. I needed to take out Ray because if I took out Ray, then we could get the pin. But then Kofi was like, dude, I wanted you to hit the elbow. So I like that they had that moment. And then Kofi literally goes, I'm going to get my own ride. I'm not riding with you to the next town.
Oh, I missed that.
And that's what I'm saying. Major plot point not happening on the show instead of happening on the timeline. So Kofi and Xavier are no longer riding together on the shows. They're not on the road together. And in the meanwhile, in the background, Dexter Lumis kidnaps Miz again.
Whoa!
Dressed as the Buzzard, of course. He comes out and he goes, and he takes him away into the tour bus. So major plot point, not on Monday Night Raw 2-hour show, which would have been if it was the 3-hour show. Like that's what sucks about mid-card feuds not getting enough time. But to go back to your point, the New Day, I am enjoying so much more because of these socials posts, but I think the entire casual audience would enjoy it more if it was happening on Monday Night Raw. You would have caught it. And like I said, Santi, the people need to keep you on the train. I saw that you were too scared to post. You didn't even post like I asked you to do to let the people on. If the people let you on this train, brother, you are on this train through and through. You can hop on in, brother. I'll let you pull on that little tree. You know what I'm saying? I'll let you pull on that little pull all you want on that, brother. Make all that whistling sound you want to do, because that's what I want. I'm tired of this. All right, I'm tired. Santi, I want you on the train, Santi. But unfortunately, I want the people to put you on this train. Yeah, but Monday Night Raw is cool, man. I think Monday Night Raw, despite the 2-hour nerf, I think it's kind of handling it as best as can. But I will say this again, and I will say this till I'm blue in the face. You need to keep up with the socials, Santi.
I clearly
you gotta keep up on the socials, Santi. But that Gable, God, when he yanked Ray and put him in the ankle lock on the apron, then he pulled him out as a boa constrictor. I love Gable because Gable picks his spots now, and when he shows up, he's instantly adds fire to any feud. And I think that's a good spot for Chad Gable to be in right now versus on the outside looking in, which he was for the majority of his career on the main roster.
I agree. You know what is criminal though with these 2-hour Raws? I said this in my review, available on patreon.com/Santi's app, only place that you can get the reviews of Raw, SmackDown, and everything else that we do. When you have a 2-hour show, you know what's criminal, Sancho? For the show to basically not start for the first words uttered not being 10 minutes into the show.
100%.
This episode of Monday Night Raw started with 6 minutes of recaps. I'm not exaggerating. 6 minutes of recaps. A 4-minute Jey Uso entrance that was bookended by a minute of silence as he's just kind of taking in the sound. Okay, like that's great. That's fine. But then the show doesn't start until 10 minutes into what we tuned in was supposed to start at. All right. And when you leave people off like Braun Breaker, when Rhea Ripley is relegated to just a video vignette, that's problematic. I'm not saying that they need to be on every show, but when you have a 2-hour show with that many people trying to vie for time, you need to make the best out of every moment that you have, because otherwise, yeah, you're relegated to having to use social medias to advance storylines like the New Day stuff and the Miz stuff. And I don't think that's cool, man. I feel like they need to use every single second that they have of Monday Night Raw. SmackDown's really good at it. There is no downtime on SmackDown ever.
I'm sorry, I'm looking for PFC.
Yeah, I hope you never find them. I hope they're gone forever.
No, I think they deserve it.
They don't.
Where's Natalia?
Where's Lyra Valkyria? That's the better one.
Where's Lyra Valkyria? Where's the ladies?
Dude,
where's Dakota Kai?
You could have done. Where was Damage Control? Where was the women's tag team division that has a match at Crown Jewel? It doesn't sound like a lot, but those 10 minutes. That is 3 storylines you could have incorporated in there with vignettes, backstage segments, anything. But then it was instead relegated to a ton of exposition on the Bloodline saga that I felt was unnecessary in a weirdly drawn out Jey Uso entrance.
I was late to Raw because I was trying to finish up my top 5 in Fortnite, and I made it because of that run over that you're talking about.
Yeah, man.
I made it.
You know what was awesome about Monday Night Raw? Like, my favorite part was definitely the stuff with Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. You know what? I was a little bit nervous when they had 7 matches on this PLE, and they haven't had 7 matches since WrestleMania, that they were going to do something to cancel one of the matches. And I thought that during this backstage brawl that they were going to do an angle where Seth Rollins can't fight a crown jewel anymore. And I'm still concerned about that because they said on the show that Seth Rollins is at a local medical center, getting his back checked out or whatever, dealing with a back injury. We'll have more for you later tonight. They didn't give us anything. They forgot to update us. They didn't update us. So I don't know. I don't know if Seth Rollins is good to go for Crown Jewel. But I was a little bit nervous that they were going to play that angle that Seth Rollins is too injured to have his match. But that brawl, it's still not as good as to what they did between Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, but it's still great. It's still just quality TV. Bronson Reed, talk about a guy that's earned a spot at a premium live event. This is a guy that's absolutely earned it. Sick
shirt too. I love that shirt. You see that shirt?
My shirt?
No. Bronson Reed.
No, I didn't. I don't recall the shirt. What was it?
It was a big tsunami wave with the word "Big Bronson Reed" in the wave. It was like one of those college posters. You ever seen those college posters with the wave? It's like a Japanese poster. People know what I'm talking about. It looked really sick, dude. It said Bronson Reed in the wave. It was like that's a good big guy shirt. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of good big guy shirts in the WWE, but that one, if I was a big dude, I would rock that one, because it doesn't look so overbearingly strange. You have to look into it, and it says Big Bronson Reed. I like that segment. I think this is the best Seth Rollins. This is the best Seth Rollins version that we're getting in a long time. And it still perplexes me that they like the internet. They want Bronson Reed to win. I don't think if Bronson Reed wins, what's that going to do for Seth Rollins? I think Bronson Reed, sure, he becomes a scarier monster. But I think what they're going to do is let Seth Rollins barely win and Bronson Reed destroy him. I think if Bronson Reed destroys Seth Rollins and loses, I think that's fine to me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if this segment changed your mind because you had the same position last week. And I'm more and more convinced that Seth is not as protected as last year with having the veil of the World Heavyweight Championship against Nakamura. I feel like this is a vulnerable Seth Rollins that could realistically lose. But I also believe that this is a trilogy. And Punk lost the first of the trilogy and came out on top of the feud. And Seth Rollins could still win the feud while losing this first match. They've said that both Saturday night's main event and Raw, the first Raw of Netflix, are going to be treated like PLEs, basically. Mm-hmm. So there is plenty of opportunities for Seth Rollins to get his wins back. But right now, like there is a window, there is an opportunity for Bronson Reed to become a mainstay of the main event. And winning this match does not hurt Seth Rollins in the long run because there's enough places and opportunities for Seth Rollins to get his back so that we could build up to Seth Rollins to WrestleMania. There's plenty of chances for him to get that aura back. But if Bronson loses game 1, the Bronson aura is done. It's exactly what would happen when Finn Balor lost the first match against Damian Priest. All of that aura, all of that hype that Finn Balor had, gone. And now you don't want, nobody wants game 2 between Finn Balor and Damian Priest.
Down, brother. You need to pump the brakes, brother. Throwing another flag on the play here, all right? Finn Balor had aura going into death.
He did.
Damian Priest.
He did. Well, not very. Like he did coming out of SummerSlam, and had he won, he would have built on it. But he lost, and now he's just lost in the shuffle. Listen, how many flags do you have? You threw like 6 there. Are you a magician?
Flag. Listen here, man. I was a Finn Balor stan. I wanted Finn Balor to do well. He did absolutely nothing after Mania. Did nothing after SummerSlam. This guy he had the biggest heel turn in SummerSlam and did nothing.
Okay, but Bronson has been doing stuff, and you think that the guy that's been doing stuff, that's been earning the aura, should lose? Oh, buffoonery. Absolutely wrong.
I'm sorry. You're going up against Seth freaking Rollins, who needs
my
to
back,
be able,
my back.
He needs this notch in his belt to go up against
he
CM
doesn't.
Punk.
This
They're
is a
gonna do
first
it.
ballot Hall of Famer. He doesn't need any notches.
Don't be mad at me when Seth Rollins is the boy toy of the WWE. I'm sorry. You cannot have him lose after eating 7 tsunamis.
Yes,
I am sorry. No, you can't. Why?
Yes, you can. Because, like I said, there's so many places and opportunities for him to get his back.
He's not John Cena. He's not John Cena. John Cena could survive 14 thumbs.
What does that have to do with anything? That has nothing to do with anything.
John Cena could take an L.
A better example.
Take this L.
What about CM Punk? His first singles match, he took an L, and and he was fine. He came out on top. He's the guy that people want to see for the World Heavyweight Championship because he won in the long run. He won the feud. This is not
a CM Punk Drew McIntyre level feud.
What? It can be though. It can be if you build Bronson Reed, and the only way to build Bronson Reed to that point is to have him win and have him destroy Seth Rollins.
You gotta, man, that tsunami Kool-Aid is in your veins.
My buddy. I've got an IV right now. It's in here for Bronson Mania.
We all know that Bronson is one opportunity that it could we all thought that Braun Strowman was going to take everything away from him, right? We had that feeling, right? You're like, oh my God, Braun Strowman. And you think that Seth Rollins this is going to be the feud that's going to last how many months, you said? This three-parter?
I think it could be a trilogy, yeah. Why?
What are they going to do? Keep fighting like Peter and the chicken for 3 months?
And it'll be entertaining. Why not? What do you have against that? Lay it out for me. What's wrong with that?
I want Bronson Reed to go against somebody else.
Wait, so what do you want? What do you want?
I want.
It doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter what you want. You're not on the Bronson Reed train. You're not on this. You don't get to make decisions. You don't get to give your wish list. You don't get to have the way that you wanted it to go.
You're just mad because you're not on the train. You keep making up all these other trains.
Bum-ass low mid-card train that is mid-card carrying cross. I'm here trying to get you on the main event bandwagon of Bronson Reed, a real train with a real destination.
Did you see that when Karrion Kross was at his hotel and Scarlett goes, they kidnapped the Miz? He goes yeah, he's probably dead now.
No, I didn't see any of this. I didn't see any of this.
It's so good. And Scarlett's like, should we go? And he's like, it's been like 20 minutes. He's probably dead now.
I did like the R-Truth when he punches the Miz and he's like, good luck with the Wyatts. Y'all gonna die.
It's so good. This is what bothers me. Just to switch tracks.
Hey, Butch, where's Pete?
This is what bothers me, dude. This is what bothers me, is that we could have had more Wyatt spookiness the whole month of October.
I agree. They did not plan this right.
No, it started off way too late, dude. It's like I literally ran out this morning, bought this referee shirt at Party City. I was like, where's that referee shirt? The lady looked at me strange.
All right, you're insane.
This is last minute shopping, dude, for the Wyatt Six. And it's a shame that they didn't have anything at Halloween Havoc. That's a bummer, dude. They should have had something at Halloween Havoc. And it's a shame that we're not getting more spookiness leading. That's what I love about NXT is they know how to have fun, man. WWE, sometimes the shenanigans don't work out. They have the Christmas matches. I loved it when Kofi Santa was running around, right, doing his thing. But I wish that the WWE had more fun with the Wyatt Six because it's Halloween, dude. It's just time to do something with it.
They had the perfect character to run a Wyatt Six quick angle with in Rich Holland, who won his ambulance match at Halloween Havoc. And he's the one, the whole story is that he was given a chance to join the family of Chase U, and then he betrayed Chase U and beat Andre Chase in an ambulance match. That's perfect right there. Give us a Wyatt Six moment with Ridge Holland, and we have plenty of precedent of main roster people doing double duty with multiple feuds, right? So this could have been great for the Wyatt Six to have a place at Halloween Havoc where just the spooky atmosphere just worked. Dude, it was such a fun atmosphere. The pumpkins, the custom stage, the fans in costume. We had Mike Rome, the announcer, dressed up like Beetlejuice, which was just so much fun. Trick Williams going out there as Trick Willy Wonka. Andre Chase going out as Freddy Krueger. It would have been perfect for the Wyatt Six. Also, that brings the question, like, should WWE lean more into a holiday-based PLEs? Because I loved Halloween Havoc. That was so much fun.
Absolutely. It's worked for Fortnite.
It always comes back for Fortnite?
No, I'm just trying to say what you're trying to say. No, I think they should because it's like football, Thanksgiving. Then that's what we have here in the States. Every time Thanksgiving rolls around, we got a football game to watch. It's usually Dallas Cowboys. We usually lose.
Yeah.
But there's so many good things around seasonal things. And like I mentioned, Kofi Santa was a way for who turned heel, who beat up Kofi Santa. Like that sounds so.
Oh, that was a thing. That was a thing. I can't remember who beat up Kofi Santa, who had the big dumpy. Drew? He put like a fake bud on him.
Was it Drew?
I'm gonna have to look up Kofi Santa now.
I feel like it was Drew because he was. I remember Kofi Santa was the one that it could have been Braun. Anyway, it was someone, a big guy that beat up Kofi Santa. As Santi looks it up,
it was Imperium.
it was Gunther.
It was Gunther and Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser. That's hilarious. Isn't it? But if it Kaiser, like the Santa Claus, that's a German guy, isn't it? Klaus, Santa Claus.
Oh yeah,
the German thing.
Can we talk more about Halloween Havoc? I didn't get a chance to see it,
sure.
And I think that people want to hear your thoughts on Halloween Havoc in the Wrestling in School podcast.
Yeah, I did upload a 20-minute review of Halloween Havoc on the YouTube page if you're interested in a little bit more of an in-depth conversation. But it was just a fun vibe. This was not a needle mover per se, PLE. Where like, oh my goodness, like major storylines played out here like that you gotta pay attention to. There were some, but for the most part, this was designed to be fun. Like we had a tables, ladders, and chairs match between Obafemi and Tony D'Angelo that Tony D'Angelo won, which now leads to the question of like, where does Obafemi go? There were rumors, Sancho, that Obafemi was going to debut yesterday on Monday Night Raw. Can you believe that?
No room for him.
I agree.
Wait for Netflix.
Wait for Netflix.
Yeah.
Or just have him have a run with the NXT World Title. Like, there's just it's not the right time right now for an Obafemi. You've got the Rumble. You got 3-hour Netflix. That's where you bring.
Great for him. Yes.
Oh, that's where you bring in Obafemi. So. That does lead to that question. Where do we go with Obafemi from here? But a great match, great fun spots, cool little storyline that played out. We had an ambulance match, and I usually, Sancho, don't like.
We saw one. Kane and
Shane. And what's funny is that, like I said on my stream, like I can't think of a good ambulance match. And people were like, Shane and Kane. And I was like, we rewatched that, and it's actually ass. It's not good. I just don't like Sancho. I don't like put dude in thing matches. I've realized that. I don't like, well, you know what? Chelsea Green and Meechin was pretty awesome. The dumpster match
was, but that's dudes. That was two dudes. We need two girls in the dumpster match. That was fantastic.
It was great.
Lady gimmick matches right now are better than men's
gimmick
matches.
I don't like
about them. Ladder matches, Rumble matches.
Agreed. I don't like casket matches. I don't like stretcher matches. I don't like
the first
Halloween
Inferno match.
I just don't like those types of matches where you got to put a dude in a thing. But either way, the match was fun. I feel like they picked the right winner with Ridge Holland. And now Ridge Holland is in the main event picture of NXT, which at the very end, he attacked Trick Williams.
And Bubba Ray.
And Bubba Ray Dudley is there, which I think is setting up for a tag team match at the NXT 2300 show.
We called that.
Yeah, which we did. That we did call that Bubba was going to be there. Bubba's still in in-ring shape. He just had a match and boom, appeared, and now he's going to have a tag team match. I'm glad it's a tag team match and not a singles match.
Question. Has it ever a grown man tell you, like, I've given you 2 warnings? That's 2. It's the scariest thing, dude. When Bubba said that, he's like, that's 2, man. I gave you 2 times.
Sancho, could I get away with doing that to a human? You think I could pull off that's one warning?
It depends on where you are. It depends where you are. If you
and what I'm wearing, if I'm wearing this.
If you're like a pro-yo shop, I would be like, what's your problem? But if you're at a gym, I would believe you.
Okay. All right.
Can you give me an example what it would look like while you're wearing John Cena gear?
No, I can't.
Come on. Role plays. Hunty.
Hey, bud, did you not see me here? That's the one and only time I let you bump into me. Do it again and I'll show you my hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Why do you sound like a video NPC?
I'm about to give you a quest.
That's what you sound like. Oh my god, NPC Santi is something. I mean, they could make an NPC out of you with your catchphrases. You got
maybe in a I would love to be an NPC in a future WWE game because they've got those NPCs in like their story mode. I'd love to be one. I'd love to be one. I'd love to be like some obnoxious influencer.
Or like on the Twitter, you know, when you check your tweets as a superstar and it shows your name.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Or they put you like NBA 2K, you know how it has like cinematics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where if you are reacting to the avatar's match as, you know what I mean, as an Instagram or TikTok post. Ooh,
that'd be cool. I mean, there's room for it. Maybe one day.
Call me WWE.
Yes. Halloween Havoc, though, yeah, it had great matches. You know what my biggest takeaway from this was?
What's your biggest takeaway order, sir?
There's going to be some stands that are mad. All right, you ready for this?
Stephanie
Vaquer is better than Julia.
Oh, I agree.
Oh, man, Stephanie Vaquer is so good. Oh, my, dude. It's
not leagues, though. It's like 1A and like 1C.
I would agree. And during the match, because this match was clearly supposed to be a showcase of both Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, I felt like Stephanie Vaquer looked better. And like the only person I could compare Stephanie Vaquer to in terms of her technical proficiency and how smooth she is Daniel freaking Bryan. Like, dead serious. That's who she reminds me of when it comes to like her fluidity when she goes like in between moves and how smooth her transitions are. I'm comparing her to the American freaking Dragon. That is ridiculously high praise. She is incredibly good. She got the pin on Roxanne Perez, which maybe that's who WWE is tabbing to be your next NXT Women's Champion, Stephanie Vaquer over Julia. Either way, if the end result is NXT Stand and Deliver, either a triple threat match or a one-on-one match between Stephanie Vaquer and Julia, sign me up. That's going to be magic.
Question, is it because we have seen a Julia-esque style wrestler, stardom-like wrestler in the past, with Ios, with Asukas, with Kyrie, like they have the same look. And Stephanie Vaquer has just a completely unique look.
I think it's fair. Yeah, I think it's true.
And lucha style that like it's like a strong, like Zelina Vega's great, but Stephanie Vaquer has some size to her, so it just adds a little bit of oomph.
Yeah, I think the Stephanie Vaquer situation is that it's Andrade in female form. It's the strong lucha style that we get from Stephanie Vaquer that's not really available from any female currently in the WWE roster.
Or the world, almost.
Almost, yeah. The Joshi style of Julia we have seen before. So it could be that. It could be and we've been watching quite a few Joshi matches as well in the on the Wrestling School Match Club, and they're fantastic. So it could be a situation of a new shiny toy that I haven't seen before in Stephanie Vaquer and her wrestling style from a female perspective. Because like I said, the close in WWE, her in-ring style is Andrade's. Like it's Andrade's in-ring style. Like that. Did you see Stephanie Vaquer's finisher at the PLE at Halloween Havoc?
I did.
Oh my God, she pulled out like a freaking like Phoenix Splash spiral tap. It was crazy. Like that is an incredible move. And it's got some oomph behind it. You know, I love Zelina Vega, but a Zelina Vega moonsault feels like it'd be like a pillow hitting you.
A very aggressive pillow.
Yes.
I mean, you ever been hit? You can get knocked out from a pillow. Like the thing about Zelina is that Zelina doesn't have a answer to the questions that Zelina asks as a wrestler. And with Stephanie Vaquer versus Zelina Vega, that match will bang. It'd be amazing.
Absolutely.
Just like if Zelina Vega went up against a Mercedes Moné. The lucha style works well when others know it. I think the Joshi style, though, is something that we have seen multiple times. And if Julia is going to find her way. She's going to have to find her way as a unique wrestler, like step away from what's worked in Japan. Not necessarily change her character completely. I'm just like find like an edge to her.
On this day,
does she need to be like a Nakamura stronger style? Or does she need to embrace when Asuka first appeared on the roster and she had that crazy strong style? I think that's where the differences lie. And it's kind of hard. I think the biggest mistake for me on the outside looking in, as not someone who watches NXT religiously like you do, and just seeing it from even just on a social timeline perspective, I feel that they made a mistake putting these two together. Like, you're not giving Julia time to shine as her own.
Yeah.
And you're out here comparing the two together, but they're totally different style of wrestlers, and now they're in a tag team.
Yeah.
And they're eating up.
You know what's funny,
individual
Sancho?
matches. Yes.
When Finn Balor debuted in NXT, he was immediately paired up with the Japanese guy that they had just signed. Kenta. No, Kenta.
Oh, Kenta. That's right.
Hideo Itami was his name in NXT.
Right. Who had to go to sleep.
Yeah. He had to go to sleep. And as soon as Kenta came into the WWE, they paired him up with a brand new debuting Finn Balor. Finn Balor stole the spotlight. Finn Balor went on to do big things in the main roster. And then Kenta, granted, a lot of injuries with Kenta, Hideo Itami, never really made it out of NXT, right? So I don't think that's going to be the case for Julia, but we do have a bit of a historical precedent of the new shiny toy taking the star power and the limelight from the other shiny toy. But I think Julia is going to be just fine. I really do believe that. Julia is fantastic. It's just that right now I'm a bit more in awe by the work rate of Stephanie Vaquer.
It's the horns. It's the little horns.
Gotta be.
When she wants.
Dude, it's cool. But the presentation, I believe, of Julia and her entrance, mint, delicious, so good. Her entrance is Elden Ring-esque. And it's my entire chat when Julia is making her entrance is aura, 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 aura. That says a lot, man. That says a lot. What did Dijak say when I had him on my stream? That they come up with the best entrances and the best entrance themes for the people that they have big plans for? I think that's Julia as well.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I like Julia. I'm just ready to see more Stephanie Vaquer. Because I think Stephanie Vaquer would be so unique on the main roster. Like going forward, like there's clearer skies for Stephanie Vaquer than a Julia. Now, the pitfall that Stephanie Vaquer has to avoid is LWO.
Like, yeah, please. Yeah.
Like I know they're cooking right now. LWO is doing something, but she cannot just be regulated to that scene. Like Stephanie Vaquer needs to go up against a Rhea Ripley, needs to go up against a Liv Morgan, a Tiffany Stratton. Those are the kind of echelons that she needs to go up against. She should not be regulated to just being a manager or a part of LWO type of vibes. Now, my hope was that Zelina Vega was going to get out of it. We had a chance that Zelina Vega was going to get out of it when she was going up against Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, when she was kind of commenting, being the outside force commenting on that, and then they just slaughter her back with NWO, man. It's just a bummer. I'm glad they had that match with Ivy Now. That was not a bad match. I actually like that match, but it's one of those, when the women are wrestling, you're like wondering what's the fellas are going to do on the outside, and that's not women's wrestling, brother.
I agree.
NXT is doing women's wrestling right.
Oh my God! Let's not forget about Zarya, formerly known as Delta, making her debut as female Brock Lesnar, JoJo Siwa combination that people compared her to.
I saw a lot of Lance Archer in her because of her hair.
Okay. All right. I see that too. I mean, she's clearly set to be overpowered. they gave her a spear and a backwards F5 because, you know, they don't get hurricanes over there. They get typhoons. Water spins the other way in Australia. Who knows? Anyways, clearly she's set up to be the big thing of the mid card because they had her attack the brand new women's North American champion in Fallon Henley.
Fatal influence.
I like the group. I feel like this is a much better group than like a PFC, for example. I don't like how they won the title in a gauntlet match. It didn't work for me, brother. But it does give a villain for Zarya to debut against.
What a big stamp of approval in giving your newest edition Zarya the F5. You don't understand the amount of bribery red tape you had to go through to sign off on that, because clearly Brock Lesnar if his daughter was going to be in the WWE, that's her move.
Yeah.
Right?
For those
You know
that
what
have
I mean?
not seen Brock Lesnar's daughter, she's an
beast.
athlete. She's a beast. Yeah, she's a major, like, world-class athlete right now.
Exactly. So you would hope that Paul Levesque's like, all right, whenever she's ready, she has a home. Speaking of which, real quick, I don't know if you saw this because this happened on timeline right where we're getting ready. The WWE has introduced a new program called the ID. WWE ID. It has a new social thing. For those of you who are interested, this is just dropping. It is a new kind of train track. Stick with me here. To allow indie wrestlers to progress into the NXT farm system. So the way they're doing is they have stamped 5 wrestling schools in the nation to be a certified wrestling school where if you do well at these schools, the WWE will ID you and give you training facilities, resources, management, and all these kinds of things to help you become a superstar and train you the correct way. It's a way to say, hey, this is an up-and-coming indie star, has gone to the Nightmare Factory, so to speak. We are now keeping an eye on them, and you could keep an eye on their upbringing on that social platform, on the X, or so to speak, so that you know who's the next indie star. And then that way, like, you want to be a WWE superstar. If you're out there young, you go into this farm system that now begins on the indie level that'll eventually lead to the Performance Center at NXT and then to the main roster. I think it's a really cool way to keep wrestling a healthy ecosystem environment, especially for, when you enter a world that doesn't have any rules, that is unregulated, or you don't know what is right or what is wrong, or you go with a promoter that could be taking advantage of you. And the same thing with acting, man. It's the Wild West when you get into the business. But for the WWE to create a track that goes all the way down to the beginning, amazing. I'll absolutely love it.
It's genius. It really is genius. And I feel like that is going to not necessarily deter people from going to the competition, but it's going to now tell those that are in the indies, like, I actually have a track to WWE if I follow this system. And that's going to, I feel like by default, funnel the best possible talent to the WWE's web, to their umbrella, just by, like, almost like process of elimination. Like, if you know what the steps are and can get into the big time, like, why wouldn't you follow that?
Yeah, it says right here, under the program, the WWE will provide prominent independent wrestling schools with the WWE ID official designation, with the goal of providing new trainees and existing talent at least these select institutions with enhanced development opportunities. Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory, Seth Rollins' Black and Brave Academy, the Elite Pro Wrestling Training Center, and the Knox X Pro Academy in LA. WWE ID will identify top independent wrestling prospects with the official WWE ID prospect designation and support their developmental journey by providing financial opportunity and assisting with training, mentorship, and development, including access to world-class facilities, best-in-class ring training, athletic trainers, and more. And they'll give the fans the opportunity to follow the paths of these standout prospects on the independent wrestling scene throughout curated behind-the-scenes content, as well as highlights and matches showcasing across WWE's
That's awesome. That is awesome. Brilliant. Speaking of Knox Pro, I ran the ropes at Knox Pro in front of Rikishi. Am I part of this program now? Do I have a fast track to WWE now that I took a bump on the ring there?
I think this would be cool. Yes. But I think as well, for content creators and social people, I think this would be a great way to integrate us into helping, like, hey, have a ride along with this prospect. Let's get to know this prospect. Let's interview him, spend a day with him, that type of thing. I think it's really smart because I think the WWE is trying to create a funnel system. If you're a gymnast, if you're a D1 athlete that wants to get into the business and you don't know where to go, these 5 schools is where you start. Like, it's like, that's the answer.
Absolutely.
It kind of reminds me of SNL. If you want to be an SNL member, sure, there's multiple ways to do it, but the best route, go to the Groundlings. That's where you get discovered on SNL.
That's cool.
Which I was in. I was a Groundling member. Not a member, but I was in the Groundling school. Cost a lot of money. Yeah. It's a mad amount of money, dude. A lot of money. Because you got to go through like Improv 1, 2, and 3, and each one of those costs like $500s easy. Damn. And you have to keep progressing to get to there, to get to the main stage. And when you're on the main stage, then you have an opportunity to get into the dance. But you got to have bank. You got to have lots of money. And you're living in LA.
Ooh, good luck. Before we wrap things up, there's one more topic I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
Two guys that are huge names in the WWE that we haven't seen for a while. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Where do they fit in when they do come back? Do they come back after the crown jewel smoke settles? Do they get the rest of 2024 off? Where do you see these guys fitting in?
Royal Rumble.
Okay, do you think they're off until Royal Rumble? That's a hefty time off because Royal Rumble isn't until February this year.
Yeah, well, like, what do we need them for? I mean, there's a lot of logjam everywhere
Raw
else.
Netflix, Raw debuting on Netflix. I think they'll be back for that.
So that's January, so a month prior to Rumble.
Yeah. I think they'd be back for that. New eyeballs on Netflix. The build up to Rumble.
Yeah, I kind of like that because they're not needed for Survivor Series.
I don't
Survivor
think that they are
Series is
either.
already shaped to a great card. Clearly, Crown Jewel doesn't need them. I mean, they just use Punk at NXT, so to speak, so they don't need him there. Unless they're going to come by Chicago and anytime soon, I don't think we need it. I thought Drew was going to be the guy that Dominic Mysterio was going to face.
That would have been hilarious, but
I thought that was the play.
Yeah.
But of course, 2 + 2 = 4.
Dude, this was a different version of the you have a mystery tag team partner. They did it again, Sancho. They clickbaited us. Oh, there's no way it's an obvious choice like Damian Priest. Psych! It was Damian Priest.
Everyone thought it was Goldberg,
Yeah.
It's clearly the cooler your answer, the less likely it is.
Agreed. See, I think we're gonna get Punk going up against Gunther. Probably at Survivor Series. I think Punk comes back for Survivor Series because that's Punk's 1 year anniversary of return to the WWE. He came back at Survivor Series, so there's some emotional ties there. And then Drew,
dare you? Dominic doesn't win from Gunther. How dare you, sir?
Fair. I still want Dominic to win though. And then Drew McIntyre, the only thing I see him immediately slotting into is either an actual feud with Wade Barrett or John Cena.
True. I Drew could go anywhere at this point. He could go anywhere. He could fight with anyone. I still think Drew versus Wade Barrett is going to happen first. I think they got to rebuild the monster of Drew McIntyre because right now Drew McIntyre is not the monster. He's been slain. He's been killed off by CM Punk. So how can you reignite Drew McIntyre as a top heel in this business? Take out Wade Barrett. You just got to take him out. Either it's going to be a match or just show up out of nowhere and be like, he goes, "Hey, I'm afraid I got bad news, Wade," and then just obliterates him because that's what's going to happen. I mean, you talked about the problem with what CM Punk and Drew is dude, there's ghosts in front of our screen, brother. I mean, what are they going to do with Sheamus? What are they doing with Sheamus? What are they doing with
a random match with Ludwig Kaiser for no reason aside from it's just a match?
They were picking up the feud. Remember, Kaiser got hurt when Sheamus and them were
sure.
Working.
They just didn't make it clear that that's what they were doing. They just had a match.
That's what I mean. There's too many ghosts on the roster now. Where's Nakamura? And hello, Nakamura, Paige Nakamura. Where's Giovici? Which I told you once he took that roll-up loss to be problematic, and I proved it was right. I think they had plans for Giovici, and then they went back on those plans. So this is not it right now. But I know we didn't talk about much of the women's side of things, of the part of the world. But can we take a pit stop and talk about the women in the WWE?
Sure.
We talked about. Let's go back to SmackDown. I think the SmackDown roster is prime for a change. I don't think Nia Jax walks out of Crown Jewel as champion. I predict Tiffany will. And I think Tiffany as champion is going to create fun throughout the entire roster. It'd be a crazier play if Tiffy cashes in on Liv Morgan, because then you create more chaos on the Raw side of things. I think the women's upper card is great. The mid card does not exist because there's only Chelsea and Michin holding down the mid card and maybe Piper.
The mid card is the women's tag division.
Right. And that is a bummer.
It is.
Now, you may say introducing a champion, a mid-card title could help this, but that doesn't mean squat, Santi, if there's no time to fix this. And when the women and the mid-card title needs a lot of time. Hopefully, Netflix goes back and we get a 3-hour Raw to fix that. And then the lower card doesn't exist. There is no prospect on the lower card for the women's side to move up into the title card position of the tag team division. And in the tag team ladies, there's really not no one that could move up to that, because you know what? Who's in between all that? It's the Baileys, the Naomis of the world that are not doing anything. That's what's a bummer. Now,
but
NXT,
that is
though.
I was going to say that is why you need a women's mid-card title. NXT figured it out because it creates the funnel of up, down, up and down across the divisions.
True. It's the elevator, but regardless, you could put a title, like they had tag team titles, they didn't give them time. Problem is that the WWE just needs to give time to these situations. NXT, a lot better off. I still believe that they added so much women to that roster, and already that NXT has a lot of women on that roster, but at least it has a lower mid-card and a main event scene. So healthy over there. Raw, oof.
Bad.
Oof. I don't think they have anything over there, brother. They don't have. I think you said it a couple of pods ago that if the tag team champions are not on that show, nothing happens with the women's division on that show.
Yeah.
It's dead.
Because the women's main event scene is just Rhea and Liv. It is stuck in a vacuum.
Exactly.
And it's a great feud, and I'm still in for this feud. But while that feud is going, you've allowed your women's division on Raw to just basically stay in stasis, where nothing has developed of substance, unless the women's tag teams are in there. But they're not there every week, so then sometimes you just end up with repetitive stories and matches, and that's the saga of PFC, what got so many people tired of all of those multi-women matches that just were developing into nothing.
I think I guess the breach point of everything kind of flooding when it comes to the WWE women's division was not letting Zelina in that feud. They had that opportunity to give women an opportunity to stick their nose in Rhea and Liv's business. And sure, maybe Zelina gets ousted out later down the road, but still, I was enjoying that angle. Like, hey, stop worrying about Dominic Mysterio. I'm here for the belt. Let's fight over this belt. And that didn't happen. And of course, the other biggest moment, I guess the next big milestone, is Jade and Bianca breaking up and causing at least giving another 2 players into the game to fix the women's division. But that's a long time coming, man. That's a Mania thing, and we're far away from Mania.
Yeah, I still think that the women's mid-card title is the way to solve a lot of these issues, because, I mean, so long as WWE is willing to give it time, because it solves the issue of Monday Night Raw where the world title is in that vacuum, because now it gives the women a reason to be booked to chase after something, as opposed to just having the Groundhog Day matches that they were just doing with PFC.
Would it be a floater title?
I would say yes. I would say yes, until maybe you can eventually figure out, having a women's intercontinental and US title. But I feel like maybe the first one should be a floater title. That's how that's what they did with the women's title initially. There was only one title and it was a floater. And then the women's division started developing, and then they did 2, one for Raw and one for SmackDown. Maybe we take these baby steps until we can, fully develop a mid-card across both shows.
No, it wouldn't be a Wrestling School podcast if we didn't have an unwatchable hot take.
Oh, listen. Let's go.
Hey, you ready? Is this the same place?
This is not.
Okay. The Royal Rumble should be for the mid-card title.
Ew. Ew, brother. Ew. Dude, you have Elimination Chamber like a month after. Why wouldn't you do it there? Ew, brother. Ew. Boo.
Doesn't it add prestige?
Boo. Boo.
What did they give Chelsea? Wait, you want Chelsea to win the Royal Rumble just to lose later?
No. Why would you have to lose? She could win. You have no belief.
They took away Samantha Irvin. Samantha Irvin's not going to do the Chelsea Green.
Is that the only thing you think that Chelsea Green is good for? Having her name read out? She's amazing.
I know she's amazing, but would it be a bad thing though?
It wouldn't be a good thing.
So you want a chamber for a mid-card title versus a chamber for the number 1 contender for the WWE thing?
Yeah, they've done it before. Like for example, chamber where Logan Paul attacked Seth Rollins. That was for the United States Championship, and it set up still Mania feuds, Mania matches, and it gave us a United States champion at the end of it. They've done it plenty of times.
Are you a Royal Rumble traditionalist? It has to be for the. Okay.
Yeah, I
I
don't even like the Rumbles where the winner gets the WWE Championship.
Oh, I love those Rumbles. Those are fun.
You've only had one of them, 92, which was actually good. Wait till you get to 2016, you bum, when you do your reviews and you get to 2016, and then come back and tell me whether you like it or not.
I am on 2001, and boy, you need to go to the Patreon. We watched the entire 2001 Royal Rumble.
One of the best ones.
It is my number one spot right now. You need to see why.
It's an incredible Rumble.
See why. It is really good. You forget how much aura Stone Cold Steve Austin had, and you have an up and coming Rock too.
The Rock's not up and coming in 2001.
No, like I'm saying, like his aura is rising to Stone Cold's level.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It's not like a up and coming rookie. It's not Baby Boss. It's not the Boss Baby. I'm talking about like it's like you seeing the guy on the top, and you're seeing this young buck right here on his heels, and you're like, oh, and then you got Kane in his Royal Rumble prime, dude, the Big Red Machine. And you have Big Show. Big Show came out, chokeslam a couple people, and he got thrown out. I'm like, W, that's all I want from you, Big Show. And then my favorite moment of that Royal Rumble is when Steve Blackman's holding onto the ropes like this, and then someone takes a trash can lid. And
that's so good. That's such a good moment. That is such a good moment. Of course, you can get our watch-alongs over on Patreon, patreon.com/Santi's app, the Rumble watch-along. This weekend, you'll be getting the first Undertaker watch-along as well.
Wait, what is that one? What is that first match?
I don't even know because I haven't watched it yet. Is it against, I think it might be against, don't tell me. Is it, oh my God. To me, is it Jimmy Superfly Snuka? Is it?
It is. It is. Oh,
yeah. It's going to be a rough watch for a while.
You're only doing the streak matches, right?
I'm going to do all of them.
Oh, wow.
Every Taker match.
Santi the kind, Santi the wise. Santi
is going to be rough. But yeah, go check it out on Patreon. Patreon, you get it at the lowest tier. Our $5 tier gets you every piece of content. Gets you over 100 match clubs. Go check it out. Sancho, let's wrap up this show. 100.
Let's wrap up this
Bring it home.
Santi is powering down. His little baby Santi is going to go take his little John Cena binky. Would you wear a John Cena pajamas?
Yeah, I would. If they made him an adult size. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new Heat Order.
New Heat Order. For those of you who don't know, this is the buzz. This is the hype of all of the vibes. Here it is. There's the list. There you go. Number 1, Karrion Kross. Santi, number 9, Wyatt 6. These are not my reading glasses, so I can't really see. Number 8, Damage Control. Number 7, Jimmy Uso. Number 6, Roman Reigns. Number 5, Samantha Irvin. Number 4, Seth Rollins. Number 3, Bronson Reed. Number 2, Solo Sikoa. Number 1, Jey Uso. Dog. I can't see.
I think number 1 is still Jey Uso.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
I would honestly go Jey Uso. Maybe number 2, Motor City.
You're that high in Motor City Machine Guns?
Yeah, I mean, like they shared so much screen time, man.
Any place, anytime.
Back-to-back matches as well. Give me Motor City at number 2.
That was a really cool babyface thing to do, right?
Yeah.
We'll fight right now. We don't care. I liked it too. I liked it. You convinced me. If they would have lost, I would have still had mad respect for Motor City for just like taking that fight on, you know?
Yeah. 3, 4, Bronson, Seth?
I kind of want to put Sammy up here, though. Really?
No, Sammy's going to be on this list. Do you have Sammy above Bronson, Seth after what they did on Raw and the previous Raw? Like, their buzz is insane right now.
I would put Seth Rollins over Bronson because Seth Rollins cut that cool promo where he's like talking to the camera, and then you see like Bronson Reed stand up in the background. That was kind of cool. But
yeah, okay. Give me Seth, Bronson, Sammy.
I like that Seth Rollins called him out, so you got
Sure.
Seth, Bronson,
Sammy.
I'm gonna have to put Solo Sikoa at 6 then. I would have liked Solo Sikoa higher.
I'm okay with that.
He's been cooking.
Roman, Jimmy, how we doing here?
Roman's not on this list.
Okay. All right.
Because he just walked out there.
Jimmy, I would say so. He's got the stuff with on Raw, SmackDown, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso. Give me Jimmy. Give you Jimmy. And then Dominic.
Who did I put at 6 after Sami Zayn?
Solo.
Solo Sakoa. 7, you want Jimmy?
Yeah.
Okay. And who'd you want at 8?
Dominic.
Okay. You know what, dude? That match did nothing for Damian Priest.
Nothing at all.
Even him beating down Judgment Day did absolutely nothing.
But it did a lot for Dom.
Exactly. I was like, who cares that you beat up Judgment Day? They are not the strongest faction anyway.
9 Randy?
It'd be like, did you beat down AOP? That'd be different. If he beat down AOP, like, oh my God, Damian. Who'd you say at 10?
Randy?
Yeah. God, it's crazy how prominent SmackDown is. Very. It starts off our week as a wrestling is cool, I would say. I really like Randy's promo, but it's just that Monday Night Raw, man, actually did cook a lot of storylines for Crown Jewel. It amplified everything that they were doing. Now, 10's going to be an interesting spot.
I'll let you take this. Who do you want at 10? I'll trust you.
You ready? Chad Gable.
Oh, over LA Knight and what he did at Game 7?
I think Chad Gable, the way how ruthless he was in the ring scared me a little. LA Knight's heel turn is a different kind of vibe. I think LA Knight's heel turn is a slow burn.
Because you know it's bad. Just say it. It's because you know it was bad. Sancho, just say it. Just say you know it was bad.
No. Just because I look like Tony Storm more than I do LA Knight. I'm adorable. I think I was gonna say in the dark match on that Monday Night Raw, LA Knight correct Lillian Garcia how to say LA Knight. Because she was going, LA Knight! And he was like, Lillian, can I talk to you for a second?
When did that happen?
On the mic. On the dark match. See, you got to keep up with the socials.
Yeah, I do got to keep
and he goes, and he was like, respectfully, like, Lillian, hey, I just want to let you know, you're the best in the business. By far the best I've ever heard. That's what he said. Right after Samantha, right? He's like, you're best I've ever heard. It's not LA Knight. It's LA Knight. Yeah. And that's how I want you to introduce me. He said it in a much more charming way.
Sure.
Okay, there's a lot. This 10 spot, very valuable. Okay, this is the spot.
I'll give you Chad Gable. I'll give it to you.
What about R-Truth? Could put R-Truth in there. Y'all gonna die. We could put The Miz.
The Miz is good.
I
gave this to you, man. You can pick who you want. I'm giving this to you. I'm trusting you.
Oh, you're trusting me with the sacrilege of the new he order.
The sanctity here. Come on.
The sanctity, that's the word I was looking for. Yes. You ready?
I'm ready.
This is a controversial pick.
Okay.
You may hate it, but I think we didn't talk about it enough, but I'm going to put it here. It is a cloud looming over all of us. Some say it is a cloud that some people don't want. But a lot of people do, and I hate them for it.
Spit it out.
Because, man, this is the go-home for Crown Jewel.
Yes, it is.
Tomorrow, people are watching this on their free feed.
Sancho! What is it?
Here is your new heat order at number 10, Bill Goldberg, number 9.
Why?
Randy Orton, number 8. Dominic Mysterio, number 7. Jimmy Uso, number 6. Solo Sikoa, number 5. Sami Zayn, number 4. Bronson Reed, number 3. Seth Rollins, number 2. Motor City Machine Guns, number 1. Jey Uso. That is your list. Thank you so much for coming. I don't have to explain myself. I just did.
Disgusting. I gave you an ounce of trust in you. Took it and
that's
you
the buzz going into Crown Jewel, you fool. That Bill Goldberg's going to do something nefarious.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
It's Leviosa.
Leviosa. Oh. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Wrestling School Podcast.
Good in this outfit, right?
No, you don't. You're not pulling this off. You Tony Storm looking ass. Yes, that's you right now.
I gotta put a black marker right here.
Yeah, it's Tony Storm looking ass over there. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Wrestling is Cool Podcast. Of course,
I don't have the cake of Tony Storm. That's not me.
You could have gotten this episode 3 days earlier than everyone else over on patreon.com/SantiZap. If you're a $15 patron, you're one of our producers, and you get your name read out loud here at the end of the show as one of our producers. So thank you.
Wait, what did you? It's not read, it's read.
You get your name read out loud. That's stupid.
That was just a callback to progress. But continue.
Oh, okay,
you're not a genius like I am.
Oh yes, of course, you're a genius.
The conductor of the Mega Train, baby.
Sancho Mania running wild. FU Santi. I'm first. Nick Harvey. 2022 Benjamin. Aaron Garcia. Aaron Oliva. Yeah. Akira Kemp. Alan Crockett. Anita Maxwin. Asher McYoda. Ashley. Ashton Davis, Asperlitz, Aussie Kingslayer, Austin Baker, Austin Gregory, Bailey Saunders, Ben Calloway, Barry, B Hostile, Big Poppy Sasquatch, BK Sochill, Blake Kimball, Brady Keaton, Brandon, Bry Guy, Bryce, Bunker, Jonesy loves WWE. What is that?
It's a gift from Epic Games.
Oh. Caleb Lee, Cameron Dodd, Cameron Noel, Carlos Gonzalez, CB, Chelsea Green Fan Club, Chupapi, Chimchars Collectibles, Christian Billick, Christian Royal, CM Puff, Colby Johns, Colin Roach, Connor Williamson, Dallas Cowboys Suck, LOL, Danny the Chat GF, Dar, DJ Broadnex, DJS, Dumsky, Dylan Kana, Eric Theory Gonzalez, Isatch, Common Chargers W, Common Cowboys L, I like where you're going. Fish Reel, Fletcher Walpole.
Chargers are ass.
4-3, baby. Over 500. Forever Wrestling. Franklin L. Everett. Sounds like the name of a president or something. For Gamerscape. George Valdez, Gilbert Deans, GXA Man, Harpfeld, Issa David, It's Mista, I'm Gonna Nut in Santi's Protein Shake, Jag Gibley, Jacob Pena, Jacob Staffel, James Brian Belugo, Jassim Alcazar, Javier Arenas, Javier Rodriguez, Jalen Steele, Jeremy C. Moreau, Jesse, Joe Velez, Jolly Green Giant, Jonah, Jordan Lynch, Josh, Joseph Pointer, Josh again, Juan Verduzco, Judson Daniels, Justin Perkins, Candine, Kasa, Kuwaiti Rick Boogs, Kyrie Lawrence, Lil Shifu, Long Dong Undertaker, Luke Parker, Marnie YCSM, Matt Roddy, Matthew Dollar, Mekki, Michael Purnell, Mike Mitchell, Muhammad Albanai, Monty Moore, Neb, Nell and Zach, Nicholas Kyle, Raffle, Reaper God, Ricky Dutcher, Royce Ruffo, Riley, Santi Giannetti, and Sancho Michaels. Santi's separate train is fueled by copium. Santi's apps all access pass to all trains. Thank you. Saudi Rig Bugs, Scriboscod, Seth, Shane, Shawn Michaels right nostril, Sidney Floyd, Silver Football, Sir Nightmare, Sir Slimski, Spicy Nuggets, Steven Rhodes, Stone Cold Peach Austin, Stucky, Sugar Shane, Super Malachi Galaxy, SVR Sboothy, Tanisha Jones, The Autistic Chocolate Syndrome, The Final Boss, the Patreon, the first patron, I Crazy Dude. That's true. He was. The Gaming Freak YouTube, The Undertaker's Son, The Real Christian Weston Chandler, nice. Cam, Tobias Burnett, Tom Lehman, Trendhead, Two Crown, Tyler Free, Vault Hunter TTV, Juan Pablo III, Wesley Simpson, Javier Izquierdo, Zach Griffin, Ed Zergzito, and Lord BBNJ. Thank you all for your support on Patreon. Thank you for helping us be able to do what we do as often as we do. And more than anything, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care. And as always, be wonderful people.